We kick off a big weekend of bank holiday football on Sky Sports at Wembley with the Championship playoff final between Bristol City and Hull. Sky Sports 1 and HD 1 for that. Giovanni Trapattoni's first international in charge of the Republic of Ireland is against Serbia from 7:30 on Sky Sports 2. Also this afternoon, the Scottish Cup final, Queen of the South against Rangers, 2:30 on Sky Sports Extra. Bristol City have taken 4 points off Hull this season. Their journey to the top has been very different. Bristol City chasing back-to-back promotions. They've hardly been out of the top six all season. They were top as recently as April. Hull survived by the skin of their teeth last season. Had a shaky start to this campaign as well, but they timed their run to perfection. 6 wins out of 9 gave Hull City the perfect momentum going into their playoff semi-finals with Watford.
So much at stake.
I remember thinking, especially how hot it was. I think it's probably the hottest conditions I've ever played, certainly professional football in.
To be fair, the manager's been great with us. When I come back from injury, he's involved us straight away in the squad.
Here is Fraser Campbell for Hull City. Great comeback! Oh, Nicky Bombi!
I think no matter who scores it in a playoff, I think it settled us down.
Fraser Campbell in the middle gets the touch. Came off the defender Brumby, but finally it is finished off by Dean Windass.
After we'd scored our 2 goals, it's kind of been, come on, let's defend this now. Let's take this back up to Hull and hopefully Touchwood get through.
Well, Myhill may as well be wearing a cape today. He has extraordinary powers.
The ball just flew past one of the centre halves and I just kind of stuck my hand out, and luckily it went wide of the goal.
Comes for Henderson, great combination, Henderson scores!
To their credit, they started like house on fire with Watford. Great, well-worked goal.
Thought about coming, Lee, it's over the top and it's in! Hull City restored that 2-goal buffer, it's Nicky Bombi again!
Just to score before half-time, knowing that they've got to score another 2 goals now to win the tie, I think it was a turning point in the game, really.
As Hull come forward, Bowling!
We're fortunate to put ourselves in a position where we could relax the last 10 minutes and the lads rose to the occasion very, very well.
Here's Garcia, it's a really crowded Garcia! Poland takes that position in the middle. Here comes Doyle, could be another deflected, here's another! Hull City crown their trip to Wembley.
It's not a place to be a loser, because I don't even think you get a medal there if we're losing this game, so it's kind of all or nothing.
It really is all or nothing, and at 39 years old, Dean Windass is carrying the hopes of his hometown Hull on his very broad shoulders. At Bradford, Peter Beagrie provided the crosses. This week, he was asking the questions, after a kickabout, of course.
Can't buy this, lad. If you do, it's very expensive. I'll tell you what I used to tell you. Don't move. And that's there, 6-yard box. Go! You're not going to get that kind of service on Saturdays.
I'm sick of him checking.
Lassard saved that. He gobbled them up. Stretch.
Look at that left peg.
Ambifuttress. 2 paracetamols, please. Well, Dean, you've had a fantastic career. This is where it all started.
Yeah, fantastic little stadium. Loved every minute of it. You know, it was great nights of football here, and you know, it was a fantastic start to my career.
Well, you're obviously in the twilight of your career, dare we say that.
Be careful, Biggs. You'll play till you're 42. I've got 3 years left yet, I think. Well, if you can play till I'm 42, I've got a chance.
You're right, but I had pace. Anyway, yeah, moving on swiftly, as you do. What keeps you going? What drives you on at the age of sort of 38, 39 to continue?
Well, I think that things like coming back here, you know, and coming back to your roots, and you know, working on that building site and playing for North Ferriby for £50 a week, and I always turned around to my wife and said that when I got the opportunity, I'd never want to go back to that. And I start now that, you know, I enjoy my training. I love training. You know, a lot of people at my age don't like training, but I love the, you know, getting the sweat on and going out on the training ground. I play with a smile on my face, and I've always said that, you know, once I stop contributing to teams, once I stop scoring goals, once I'm not doing my job properly, and then I'll walk away. But you know yourself, Biggs, that I've never been renowned for my pace. Nobody's ever relied on my pace. So I think that if you are quick and you get to 35, 36 and you lose that little bit of pace, people say your legs have gone.
Yeah.
And I don't feel as though my legs have gone.
Coming up to the special moment, the biggest game, have you had a little moment to yourself and think about, you know, at your age, what this actually means?
Yeah, I think when I get closer, I start to think, you know, my wife, Josh and Jordan, who are 14 and 9-year-old, understand now what it's gonna, what it means to his dad to walk out at Wembley, and to me to walk out in front of them, and obviously all the Hull City fans who I love dearly. It'll be a special day, and let's just hope that we don't let anybody down.
If in the eventuality that Dean Windass is successful, come and let me show you the type of service that you'll expect in the Premiership.
No problem.
Feed the wide man and then get in the box.
the wide man and
First
get in the
touch
box,
is
check.
magnificent. On the left. There you go. First time. Oh my days! That would have been goal of the century.
Well, of course,
Yeah, wide and make him bigger.
that's the one.
Oh yes, lovely Dino. Right, have a jog in, get a bath, save the rest for the final, lad.
He always did talk a good game, which is why we put him to good use here on Sky Sports. Now, Pete, how are the hamstrings?
Very tight, as you can see when I was bending down touching the pitch. There was a bit of oil involved there.
Listen, Dean Windass, 39, but I just wonder how much of a role Fraser Campbell has played in what I guess you could call a rejuvenation of him.
Oh, immensely so, because it's kept Dino fresh. He's had little breaks during the course of the season, but it's also given the chance to educate a youngster that's got real talent. He's warming up just behind me there, and not an ounce of trepidation from the guy. You've got to remember that this is a fella who scored 21 goals in 31 games at Royal Antwerp, and he's continued his education here in the Championship, and he's never looked like a fish out of water. He's got great technical ability. He's really, really quick, but more than anything, mentally he's tough. He's had the rigours of the Championship, so we know that physically he can cope with the demands, and what a great bit of business from Phil Brown.
Will he enjoy the big surfaces at Wembley as well, Pete?
Absolutely, and it's going to be a problem for Bristol, because if the drop and the drop deep to sort of negate his pace, then they're playing in the hands of the aerial threat from Windass, because Garcia, we've seen, can put good balls in, and also on the other side, Nick Barmby can sneak a goal coming in on that back stick, so it's a difficult how Bristol are going to approach this game against a Hull side.
Dion Dublin played some of his football at Manchester United. You've seen a bit of Fraser Campbell up close. What do you think of him?
I think he's, I'm not going to say the difference to where they've got this season, but I think he's made an immense difference to the side. He just looks a threat all the time. He's got a good first touch. It's a great first touch, takes it into his path and finishes very coolly. Some players freeze in positions like that, but he looks very confident, gets a bit of luck there, but he takes it so well under pressure again. It's a different kind of goal.
Is he one that could actually have a future at Manchester United?
I think so, yes. If he keeps his feet on the ground, listens to Dino, will help him, as he said already. But the goals he's scoring, that last one there in the top corner was fantastic. And the one we missed was a header as well. So he seems to have done everything this season in regards to the type of goal he scored. So I wish him good luck, but he has to listen to the right people. Just
goes to show, doesn't it, Sam, how important relations are with other managers. How did he persuade Sir Alex Ferguson to get him when so many clubs wanted him?
Well, I think that, I've known Alex, Phil's known Alex for quite a while. We've just down the road when we were both at Bolton, and he was the man to convince Sir Alex that if he comes to Hull City, he will play. If you ring up for a player off Alex, he wants to know whether you're going to play him or not, and if you're not going to play him, he won't let you have it. And Phil's obviously said, look, he's going to go straight in the side. If he does the business, he will stay in. If he doesn't, then there might be occasions where he might have to be left out. But to be fair to Fraser, he's gone in and never looks like being left out. Doesn't look like he's above the sort of standard from Antwerp. He's raised his standard and moved on. The biggest problem for Phil is, if he gets promotion, is persuading Alex to sell him. Because I'm not sure he'll get him on loan again, and I think the price might be quite considerable, even if he considers it, knowing Sir Alex.
Well, Bristol City have been trying to prove people wrong all season, and when they were drawn against the form team Crystal Palace in the semi-finals, they had to do it all over again.
The end of season spectacular.
All the lads were confident that we could go there and get a result.
I felt relaxed because of the last couple of games of the season. The Gaffer's called it the Weasel.
So he gets it, Noble to Carl, they're trying to pass it through. And Lewis Carey fast Bristol City into a most valuable of leads.
The last time that one came off was like 2.5 years ago away at Blackpool.
Lewis Carey can't clear it, Jose Fonte. And Carey goes in with the challenge and gives away the penalty.
Tangled legs, and he said sometimes they get given and sometimes they don't.
Ben Watson against Adriano Basso. Watson makes no mistake at all.
It was unlucky to us, but he put it away, and then obviously for David Noble to come up with something like that was unbelievable.
Oh, Noble! What a goal! What a goal by
setback. You know, the gaffer had a few words to say at half-time.
Now that was a dangerous tackle, and the referee has given a penalty.
When he took it and he hit the post, you know, it sort of makes you rise in yourself and you think, you know, this is our night.
It's come out to Trundle. Oh, it's magnificent!
It was brilliant to see that go in and to see the reaction in the ground and what it meant to everyone.
It's as though they could be lining this one up from Kindo to smack one in. Oh! Didn't he just? That's Wembley!
Well, the goal scorers made the headlines in those games, Peter Beagrie, but who really caught your eye for Bristol City in the semi-finals?
Well, it was the young Australian Nick Carl. In 2006-2007, he was the Australia Player of the Year, and it just shows via France and via the Turkish side, whose name I'll not try and pronounce, but it's 1,000 points in a triple word score in Scrabble. I'll leave that to you, Dave, to embarrass yourself. Yeah, he's a terrific player, and what Gary Johnson's done, he spreads his net finally and worldwide and can pick up a very, very raw talent. And what he does is he's got the craft and guile to play behind the two strikers. He can feed people in. It's not much of a goal threat. He hasn't been at Bristol. He can score goals, but you look at his tricks that he's got, and he's a tremendous player. And what he's put in now is he's showed so much faith in him. He's playing him in a 4-4-2 in the middle of midfield. He's keeping out the manager's son, who's a tremendous player as well. But we can see that he's had no problems adapting to the pace and the attitude of mind that he shows going into. He's fearless. He's a great little player, very good technique, but also a tremendous competitor. And he could be one that sparks it today.
Sam's mentioned in here as well, Pete, that Bristol City don't have a goal scorer in the double figures, but is there a feeling that Lee Trundle could be hitting his straps at just the right time?
Yeah, absolutely. He's had extra training, you know, to play and dribble with a ball like Lee does, you've got to be tremendously fit, and he's been putting in the extra work, you know, with all the coaching staff. And we saw that when you want that extra little bit of, you know, craft, guile, sheer brilliance in that last minutes of that game, then Trundle can produce. And today, you know, this is a stage and it's set for big players, people who've got the right attitude, want to get on the ball, don't want to wait for things to happen, they've got to make it happen, and he could be one of those players.
Really is an occasion set for the big players today. Both teams have come an awful long way to get here today. You could argue they've come from the football wilderness to the verge of the Premier League. And next, we'll hear more about the men who've masterminded what many thought was mission impossible. We are 25 minutes from kick-off at Wembley Stadium in the Championship playoff final, and how far this whole City club has come. 8 years ago, on the brink of being closed down, and now on the verge of the Premier League for the first time in their 104-year history. There have been dark times too for Bristol City, languishing in League One for 7 seasons. And that was when their manager, Gary Johnson, arrived. Much of that success is now being credited to him. So far, only Neil Warnock can boast promotions from the Conference and all 3 football leagues, but Gary Johnson can match that today. Greg Whelan charts his rise and rise.
He didn't make it as a player. The youth teams at Fulham and Watford was as good as it got. Gary Johnson's had to bide his time to make an impact. In the early 90s, the Cambridge United team of Dion Dublin, Steve Claridge and John Taylor climbed from the old 4th Division to the brink of the Premiership. John Beck's eccentric management methods included team bonding, military style and pre-match cold showers.
We had a bit of a problem starting off slow in games, so Gary Johnson, the assistant, came up with a very good idea, cold shower, and it seems to have worked since then.
Carlisle away, Wednesday night, -3, freezing cold, you know. I didn't really think we needed a cold shower. What happened with John and Gary was they moulded us into a group. Yes, we played this phenomenal long ball game, but the team spirit that we got, the bottom line is we kept winning.
In the late 90s, Graham Taylor led Watford into the Premier League with back-to-back promotions. Gary Johnson, his academy director, had a hand in it.
In the final against Bolton, people remember Nicky Wright actually doing an overhead kick from a corner, but Nicky was in that position to be able to do that overhead because of Gary Johnson. You know, it was something that he'd worked on, and to get that first goal in that playoff was vital for us.
The Baltic state of Latvia was his next port of call. In 2 years as their national coach, he established a winning mentality.
He played a major part of us to be the team which the other teams too scared to come and play against, you know. And after that we qualified for the final of European Championship in Portugal. And but I think Gary's role in that success was massive.
In 4 years, Gary Johnson led Yeovil to an FA Trophy success and promotions from the Conference to League One.
He really did dangle a carrot at us and say to us, you've got to change your lifestyle, you've got to change your habits, and if you do so, you will end up getting success. And a lot of people, you know, have come through Yeovil and gone on to play in the Championship now, so that shows you how much of a turning point that was in a lot of our careers.
Movement! You can't stand still! Keep moving!
Now it's Bristol City's turn to reap the benefits.
I've worked for him now for I think sort of 3 or 4 years at 2 different clubs. He's learned different tactics, different countries and different divisions. And once you've got there 3 or 4 things as a manager, I believe, you will never go really wrong.
From non-league to the brink of the Premier League. That's quite an impact.
If he does this on Saturday, I can't think of any manager in the history of football that's ever done what he's done through the divisions and the way he's played his football through the divisions.
If somebody said to me, name me the top 12 managers in the country, I'd say that Gary Johnson is now knocking on the door of becoming one of them.
Praise indeed. Cold showers, Dion. Do you remember those?
Oh, gosh, like they were yesterday.
Before the match?
They were yesterday, oh, ridiculous. And John Taylor's completely right, that's when they started. I think it was away at Carlisle, he said. And that was the first time we had them. And from then on, we just, I'm not saying it's down to the showers, but it helped us, it woke us up. And we had loads of little tactics like that worked for us. And we were a team that people didn't want to play against, you know, due to things like that.
How influential was Gary Johnson on some of those stranger ideas?
Well, yeah, as John Beck said in the VT, that he was the one that mentioned it. I think Chris Turner was there at the time as well. And he mentioned it, and we done it, and we got onto it, and there was grass in the corners, and there was all kinds of other things I can't really mention. But Gary instigated the cold showers, and it worked for us as a team of a group of lads.
Well, it was long ball football then, and now it's pure football. It's almost the antithesis.
I think that's the way he coached. That's the way he coached. I don't think he had much of a say in how the team was coached in that way. But when he got in charge himself, as he's shown with his teams, it's just total football, and it's got them where they are today here at the final.
Let's hear from the man himself, Gary Johnson, with Greg Whelan.
Gary, you've lost Jamie McComb today through illness. How big a setback is that for you?
Well, it's more of a setback for Jamie. You know, I mean, it's unlucky when you're selected to play in the game and then you get an illness a couple of days before it. But Liam Fontaine will come in, somebody else's grief, it's somebody else's happiness, if you like. And Liam's played enough games that we trust him in that position and we know he can do a good job. We're sorry for Jamie, but we're pleased for Liam.
Your son Lee has had to settle for a place on the bench today. Was that a difficult decision to make, and how did he respond?
No, it's not a difficult decision because we'd won our last couple of games. Nick Carl had played in those. I wouldn't have done it to Lee the other way round. So Lee understands, he knows me more than most. And obviously he'd like to be starting, but he's happy to be playing a part.
Most of your players won't have played in an occasion like this before. How vital will it be to get a good start today?
I think the start is always vital. You know, the stats say that good starts are vital. They'll have their game plan for the first 20 minutes, so have we. We'll have to see who comes up tops.
Thanks very much, Gary.
No problem, thank you.
Sounds hoarse already, doesn't he? What's he going to be like after 90 minutes? Maybe extra time, maybe penalties as well. Alan Dix, by the way, the last man to get Bristol City promoted way back, 28 years since they dropped out of the top tier. Sam, like you, Gary Johnson has served his time in the lower leagues. Have you been impressed with him?
I think he's one of the most outstanding managers in this country at the moment, not just now, but proved it over a number of years. His experience coaching abroad with Latvia, his comeback and taking Yeovil from the Conference into League Two, League One. He's got hold of Bristol City, who was struggling, and taking them up, and now on the brink of the Premiership. Now, what more does an English manager have to do to be given the chance to manage in the Premiership? Unfortunately for Gary, the times as they are at the moment, the only way he can get there is by promoting his own team. This lad should have been plucked out and put in the Premiership long ago for me.
Team talk on the pitch, Dion. What do you make of this?
I think it's a good idea. It's just last minute reminders, the way he wants the game being played. And the formation lineup as well. So I think it's just reminded before they go out, and I think it's a good idea.
Well, let's get into the Hull City camp now. Phil Brown with Guy Havord.
Phil, a year ago, So nearly relegated, now 90 minutes from the Premier League. Can you believe the turnaround?
Yes, I can. Myself personally, it took a lot of planning, a lot of preparation, a lot of investment from the chairman, a lot of support from the chairman. I couldn't do this without him. But the players behind me were brought in Premier League mentality to a certain extent. We need that Premier League mentality on show today. We also need a clean sheet mentality if we possibly get it. It's going to be a warm day, it's going to be a test of fitness, it's going to be a test of mentality, and hopefully ours will come through.
What will your last words be to your players?
Enjoy the occasion, simple as that.
Is that possible?
I think it is possible. I think if there's one or two nervous guys out there, they want to think about the lads on the bench or the ones that are not even on the bench. At least they can do something about it, go and expend some energy and play some football, because that's what we're here for.
What about this noise behind you, these supporters?
Absolutely magnificent. And you said what's the difference between last year and this year? Well, I think 38,000 Hull fans are making it quite easy for me to make an appraisal.
We wish you all the best, Phil.
Thank you.
Well, he certainly is a king to these Hull fans, that is for sure. Their highest ever finish equal, third place in the second tier of English football. Can they go that one step further? Sam Allardyce, your former sparring partner, if you like, has he been in touch this week for words of advice?
Well, we've had many chats over the course of the season, and more so since I lost my job at Newcastle, and I've been over to see him a few times. But he's using his experience from when we worked together in the Premiership for 6 or 7 years. He's now using his bitter disappointment by losing his job at Derby, and now he's bouncing back and making sure he's going to be a success. And many people said when he lost his job at Derby that he's only an assistant manager, and I've known Phil a long time. He's always had that burning desire to be a manager. Now he's proving that he can be, and today he's got to use his experience about when we went to the playoff finals all that time ago, pass it over to the players, but then again ask his experienced players to come through. Dean Windass, Nick Barmby, Brian Hughes are all going to be very important today to calm the younger players down and make sure they play the best.
You had a younger man in Phil Brown as your number 2. He's gone for experience with Steve Parkin and Brian Horton. How much does he lean on them?
I think an awful lot. I think that Phil loves to coach, and he loves to, get out in the training field and coach the players as much as he possibly can. And I think that leaves some of the time for Steve and Brian, particularly Brian, to do a lot of the office work and a lot of the sort of administration stuff that can be a bind to somebody like Phil Brown particularly, and he's where he needs to be the most, and that's where, and somebody like Brian in his experience can see him through, can do a lot of talking together, a lot of planning, as you've said, and it's worked exceptionally well for him this season on a very small budget. I mean, you really think Bristol City, an old city, on how few wages they must have here compared to the size of the clubs in the championships, the ones that got relegated, Sheffield United, the money, the parachute money, Bristol City and all, haven't had that good fortune in terms of those finances, even though they've been backed well by the chairmen, and they're right up there. Fantastic.
I guess that means, Dion, that they have to take this opportunity. Both clubs have to take this opportunity now, because it's going to get even tougher.
It will get tougher, without a doubt. Next season is even going to be harder to get out of it, and I think today is a great chance for both of these teams to get into the best league in the world, what I consider. I think Phil's the kind of person, from what I know, and Sam will put me right, he's a very strong character, he's a winner, and he'll be just transferring those feelings into his team. He has done all season, and he will do even more today on today's game.
Well, they're enjoying the occasion so far today, but really only one set of fans will be left smiling by the end of this match this afternoon. How will they be feeling now? We'll get the final thoughts next. Fantastic atmosphere here at Wembley for the Championship playoff final, and what about this for the League One contest tomorrow? The White Rose Doncaster Leeds contest, 2:30 Sky Sports 2 and HD2, and then the Red Rose on Monday for the League 2 final, Rochdale Stockport, also 2:30 Sky Sports 2 and HD2. Peter Bigrey has joined us for a better vantage point before kick-off, slightly increased suntan as well, Peter. Do you expect both teams to try and play their natural games here today?
Absolutely, yeah. They've got bags of experience in there, both sides, and I think it'll be a game where both teams settle quite quickly. We've said about the likes of Barmby and Windass, and these are the people who, on a day like this, have got to make sure that when it's hot, they retain the ball, and they can do that. They have the experience to do that. They won't give it away cheaply. So, and Bristol on the other hand have got Lewis Carey in there, who's
seen everything with the football club. Fantastic leader, and it's difficult conditions, Dave, out there. The ball is sticking, really is, and there's a potential to water it again at half-time.
Sam, is the manager's work done now?
No. I think that it's done as far as coming over the white line and then kicking off. But then there might be some tactical adjustments they may need to make in the first half. Getting ready for your team talk is going to be very important, and the most important thing for the manager will be the substitutions. That could win you or lose you at this playoff final. That'll be the crucial thing for both managers to get right. And
what are you looking for from your players in the first few minutes?
Well, you're looking to score the first goal, and you're looking to retain the ball. It's a hot day, like Peter said. You're looking to make sure you make inroads into the opposition's defence, get the first chance. You're looking for somebody to set the standard, whether it be a good pass, a good shot, a good header, and that settles all the players down, and then try and build from there.
Dion, as a player, how important is that first touch going to be?
It's all important. I think it's for the individual. Get it, control it. Everything's got to be right. First tackle, first header. You know, you've got to go with it. 100%, everything you do. The atmosphere is unbelievable behind me. We can hardly hear each other talk. But this is the kind of thing that you're a footballer for events like this, for occasions like this. And they've got to grab it. They've really got to grab it today. Well,
we have red against amber, but who will get the green light for the Premier League? Let's get across to our commentators, Don Goodman and Bill Leslie.
Unfashionable perhaps, uncharted certainly, but there will be a new destination for the Premier League sat-navs next season. Will it be a new Western outpost though, or will it be the East Riding of Yorkshire? One thing is for sure, for both clubs this is quite simply the biggest match in their history. Neither have ever been close to the Premier League before, neither ever promoted via the playoffs. Both clubs playing in front of their biggest ever crowd and with it a worldwide audience. Don, it's really a question of not so much how they play the opposition, but how they play the occasion.
Well, it's been proven, hasn't it, in the past? I mean, you only have to look at the pictures that you're seeing here to know this isn't just an ordinary game. The hype surrounding it, the prize at the end of it. You really have got to try and keep everything as normal as possible as a player. Your routine, which was interesting how different before the game, the difference of the routines. Hull City, a shorter warm-up. They went back into the dressing room. I'm sure they had the team talking there. Bristol City were out here for a long time before Hull and a long time afterwards, perhaps soaking up the atmosphere. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all pans out in that respect.
With every big showpiece occasion such as this, it's the moment where the players are itching to get on with it, but a few formalities to be undergone. There's the chairman of the Football League, Lord Mulwiney, leading the presentation committee. It's been an extraordinary week, hasn't it? We've seen the best two from the Premier League fight it out for the Champions League, and it ends here at Wembley this afternoon with these two fighting it out to join them amongst the country's elite next season. The chance to go toe-to-toe with the likes of Manchester United, the likes of Chelsea. Two captains for either club as well, Don, who very much bleed the respective colours, particularly Lewis Carey, pretty much exclusively a one-club man, playoff playing with Bristol City before over the last 4 or 5 seasons. And he introduces his teammates to the Football League chairman.
Well, I think when you're a hometown boy like Lewis Carey, like Dean Windass for Hull, means even more. You know how the supporters are feeling at this precise moment. And you probably, all likelihood, you would be here at the ground if you weren't playing.
As a manager, you plan, you prepare, but you're never really ready for an occasion like this. Who handles the weight of expectation and that weight of club history? Well, the wait is nearly over now. We just pause for the national anthem.
Please be upstanding for the national anthem, led for us this afternoon by Catherine Sales.
Michael?
Telegram!
Yeah!
Hi, Cole.
Hi, boys. You've got something to tell me, haven't you?
I have.
Your house.
Flown away.
Oh, no, I've got to go.
Yes!
May I leave?
Okay. We're going out, boys.
The man, he said...
Okay!
This is what they're putting on their heads.
I take the time and pack my own parachute because it is quite dangerous to have a hard opening with this much weight on your head.
23, maybe even 25 pounds.
You could literally rip your head off or break your neck.
I love you, Steve-O, but not enough to let you eat my corners and my bookings.
Sky Bet. It matters more when there's money on it.
There is one place left at the top table of English football. The Championship playoff final, Bristol City against Hull City on Sky Sports 1 and also available in high definition on channel 408. The teams with Don Goodman and Bill Leslie.
Bristol City have that late change thrust upon them. Jamie McCoom woke up this morning with a stomach bug. He misses out. Liam Fontaine called up to the starting lineup for the first time in 2 months. Elsewhere it's unchanged. It means that the manager had to break the news to his son. He wouldn't be starting the match. Australian Nick Carl keeps the shirt alongside Bristol City's Young Player of the Year, Marvin Elliott. Bristol City captained, of course, by their boyhood fan, Lewis Carey. Unlike the opponents, no need for a change for Hull City. It's the same side that started both legs of the semi-final win against Watford. More experience, certainly, particularly with the Hull-born duo, Nicky Barmby and Dean Windass. So a place for the manager's son, Gary Johnson, on the bench. Thomas Vasco called up because of that illness for Jamie McCoom, and Dean Marnie back among the Hull substitutes after missing out in the playoffs so far through injury. Alan Wiley, the match referee, back at Wembley in charge of an all-championship affair. He was the man in the middle for the FA Cup semi-final here between Cardiff and Barnsley. Promotions from the conference, FA trophies. Much derided by large quarters of the Bristol City support when he took over and oversaw 9 consecutive defeats in the early weeks of his management. Now he, like his opposite number here, Phil Brown, stand on the brink of making history for their clubs. At the start of the season, 9 months ago, it's a highly unlikely climax to the Coca-Cola Championship, but nonetheless a mouth-watering one. Two sides who throughout have been there or thereabouts. Bristol City in the top 6 since August. Hull City on a late run, only missing out on automatic promotion on the final day. But come the final reckoning on a lovely sunny afternoon in North London, who has the stomach for the fight with such a big prize waiting just around the corner? So the date, the 24th of May, for the 28th match played here at the new Wembley. By the end of it, we'll know the identity of the 42nd different club to play in the Premier League. Both sides with confidence coursing through their players after convincing and highly effective playoff semi-final wins against two sides who were the favourites to prevail. Slightly harder it was for Bristol City, extra time required to see off Crystal Palace. But Hull City, after a couple of nervous moments against Watford in the home leg, really put their foot on the gas and come here perhaps as the marginal favourites.
I think the word marginal is absolutely accurate as well. There's so little between these two teams. It really is going to be thrilling to see the tactical battle that comes to fruition.
Both these clubs as their average gate in the Coca-Cola Championship this season, averaging under 20,000. Every single ticket available for sale for this match was sold out by both these clubs. Barmby looking to ask questions of the new boy in the lineup, Fontaine and Garcia. Well, perhaps that's down to a few Wembley nerves.
Well, we'll give him that one, shall we? Very, very difficult. Not really a chance, but took the option. Rattle one of those out of every 10,000 in the net, I would suspect. He's got the first, shall we call it, attempt at goal in the playoff final.
One-off game, of course it is, but Bristol City will be happier if previous form between the two comes into play. Unbeaten in the last 9 meetings, 23 years since Hull last won. They're on this very ground, although it was slightly older in those days. Live Aid was taking place. That's how long it has been since Hull got the better of Bristol City. Our supporters would say no time like the present to change that. Good closing down here by Garcia. Looking to use the full width of the Wembley pitch. McAllister for company. Fraser Campbell in the middle. Dean Windass with that dyed blonde hair, especially for the occasion, couldn't control it, and Bristol City looked to come forward. Adebola. His strength prevails here. Trying to get that cross away. Away by Turner, Hull City's player of the year. The Australian Carl now trying to get it into the mix. Adebola underneath it. So too was Elliott. And Hull, slightly panicky, able to get it clear.
Well, I'm really surprised. I mean, we expected a fast, frenetic start, but it surpassed my expectations. Both clubs really going for it. It's end-to-end. I think Dilly Adebola served notice of intent there, didn't he? The way he muscled away the Hull City attempt at defending there.
He's tried a few formations, a few different formulas, Gary Johnson, as the season has come towards its climax to find the winning formula. He's certainly come across it. You hesitate to say stumbled across it because everything with him is pretty well thought through. But this Trundle-Adebola axis up front has really paid dividends for them, just when their season looked to be running out of steam.
I think that's why you've really got to pay homage to the character shown by both of these two teams. Both had disappointment to overcome, didn't they? The long spells, Bristol City in the top 2, and Hull just a couple of weeks before the end of the season had their fate in their own hands, couldn't quite see it through for Automatic, but they've both bounced back incredibly well in the playoff semi-finals to get to this stage, but they won't want to fall flat now.
And preventing Lee Trundle getting any sort of time on the ball, Brian Hughes has given away this free kick. And as we've already seen in these playoffs, set piece are very much a strength of Bristol City. It's angled up towards the captain, Carey. Windass underneath it for Hull City. Touched on well by Elliott. Dilly Adebola onside here. Adebola couldn't get the contact he was looking for.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's never really been a prolific striker, but he wishes he could have this over again, and it was on his left foot. Great strength there, but he swings that right foot, and you can see by that effort he is not right-footed. He just doesn't get any kind of real contact on it, but what an opportunity.
I'll look to ask questions themselves against the Brazilian in the Bristol City goal, Adriano Basso. Adebola again, ambling forward to try and make his presence felt. It's worked out nicely. This is Bradley Orr. Anglewell looking for McIndoe.
Once again, we've seen it, haven't we, throughout the course of the season. Michael McIndoe drifting in from that left-hand side, and in doing so, he's managed a few goals this season.
He's certainly peaking at the right time as well. A lot of those goals coming recently, 3 in his last 4. He crowned their semi-final win, Bristol City, with the well-worked set-piece against Crystal Palace, which really sparked the celebrations. Here's Carl, a combative Australian in the Bristol City engine room. Blocked out by Ashby, who would certainly fall into that category for the men in amber. McAllister. He looked to hit Adebola early again. Lee Trundle. Use of the arm means a free kick awarded against him.
Oh, I think As this ball comes in, Adebola again, they don't deal with him, but there's the hand, the left arm of Lee Trundle. Referee Alan Wiley in a perfect position. He's just instructed, actually, Alan Wiley, there's quite a few balloons on that far side. The referee wants them removing and bursting before he allows to get back underway. We've seen the impact that balloons can have on football matches, haven't we?
There've been a couple of occasions this season. There were a few actually in Bristol City's last game, weren't there? Nearly had the impact. Bramall Lane in the FA Cup was the prime example this season, though, wasn't it? For all his strengths, Nick Barmby, the aerial battle, perhaps not one that he'll win this afternoon against Bradley Orr. Goodness me, how he stepped up to the plate for his hometown club in those semi-finals. 2 goals, 1 in each of them. This after hardly featuring in the previous couple of months through injury. We heard him saying in the build-up to the match how he's very much welcome back into the fold. No doubt about it, Phil Brown has lent heavily on the experienced heads to manoeuvre Hull into this position. Carl. Doesn't spend a lot of time sitting down on the bench, Phil Brown. That's not his managerial style. Trundle trying to get some room. Adebola alongside him, and the signs are there that those front two are starting to find a little bit of space already.
Well, they have been very, very effective, haven't they? Particularly over the 2 legs against Crystal Palace. Worked well in tandem. They're actually chalk and cheese in the style of play, aren't they? But very effective partnership.
It looked for large swathes of the season, didn't it? Like it was a little bit of an extravagance, the £1 million that Gary Johnson spent on Lee Trundle. But in the last month, it has looked to be money well spent. 2 goals in his last 3 games, and also with an appetite for the big occasion, Lee Trundle. Look at reasons why the bookmakers might have seen Hull City as favourites. They did finish 1 point above Bristol City. And look at the goals scored and conceded over the season. Hull did score 11 more and conceded 6 fewer. Although, of course, they haven't managed to get the better of the men in red yet this campaign. A goalless draw up at the KC and a 2-1 defeat in the most recent meeting, even though the scoreline didn't really affect the balance of play or reflect the balance of play that day. It's the Hull side of the story anyway.
It's just settled down a little bit now, hasn't it, the pace of the game? A little bit more sparring going on out there, but fast, frenetic opening it was.
Bradley Orr got in the way well. Hull City's Player of the Year, Turner. Garcia. McIndoe got back well. Ricketts. Ashby the captain. Barmby the evergreen. Dawson. Fraser Campbell. Starting to move it around neatly here. Hughes looking for the run of Windass. As well marshalled by McAllister.
That's good defending, isn't it, again? These are 2 very, very good defensive units we've got out here. As this ball comes in, Dean Windass comes in, he's looking to get him behind, but it's good, strong defending by Jamie McAllister just to let that ball run out.
No coincidence that they are strong defensive units. They've been able to play, a little bit of fortune in there as well, but been able to play most of the season pretty much unchanged. Here's Trundle. Noble. David Noble looking for Marvin Elliott. Or now.
He's normally the source of very, very good crosses, isn't he? Bradley Orr, not one of his best, but does like to get forward.
Performances down this right for Bristol City this season that have seen him voted by his fellow professionals in the team of the season. Carry on Windass, that's going to be a good old-fashioned battle.
They're going to be matchups all over the pitch, aren't they? Battles, individual battles. It's collectively, isn't it, at the end of the day?
I think both managers will have had a fair idea that the lineups would be as close to unchanged to those that both managers fielded in the semi-finals. And this, of course, denied Jamie McCoon the chance to put previous playoff pain behind him. Here's Fraser Campbell looking to burst, and vital for Bristol City that Basso was alive. He's going to need to be with the pace of Fraser Campbell. Windass. Hughes. Ricketts. Windass. Noble tucking in to make up the numbers for Bristol City. The space he left can be used by Bradley Orr. Baylor doesn't quite have the pace to get inside. Ashby. Campbell missed it. That was due to interference. Arm in the back from Lewis Carey and a free kick for Hull City.
Well, they are watching very, very closely, aren't they, on Fraser Campbell, and they'd be crazy not to. He has had an absolutely fantastic season for Hull City. He's a real danger.
And since 9 o'clock this morning, the supporters from Hull and from Bristol, from northeast and from west of the country have been arriving here. It is a carnival day out. Two cities deprived of the big time for so much of their history. Just 9 years of Bristol City's history has been in the top division. Hull, of course, famously never been there. That could all change. A little bit of confusion at the back.
We saw uncharacteristically, didn't we, in the semi-finals? A little bit of confusion in that Bristol City defence actually cost them the 2 goals that they conceded against Crystal Palace. A lack of communication with Basso and a couple of his defenders. I won't want a repeat of that.
Interesting to monitor his preparation, Gary Johnson. They came down to London on Thursday to get a feel for the place. This is when they made the visit to Wembley. Spent the best part of 45 minutes out here warming up. Well, Hull City were much more miserly with the time they spent out there. A more workmanlike approach from Phil Brown and his side, you could say. Not getting caught up in the occasion too much. And we'll find out later on in the afternoon which approach serves which side the best. McIndoe, significantly 3 around him to prevent him getting a run. Fontaine. Bradley Orr. 3 hoping and waiting that the cross might come to them, but the offside flag would have denied them even if it had been a little more accurate.
He just drifted a yard the wrong side, Michael McIndoe. See, Gary Johnson will be pleased that it's his Bristol City boys who are enjoying a lion's share of possession. They do play a passing game, and on a day like today when it's really hot down there, that's what he'll want them to do. He'll want them to keep that football, stay patient and wait for their openings.
Carey beats Windass to the punch this time. Hull will be hoping that the playoff promotion pattern continues. Last 2 years, the side that finished 3rd in the Championship was the one to go up by the playoffs. Watford and last season, Derby County. Looking for any guide over recent history in terms of scorelines, we would suggest it will be tight. 3 of the last 4 winners won it by a 1-0 scoreline.
It's been 10 years, hasn't it, since the 4th place team actually won one.
What a final that was when Charlton edged out Sunderland on penalties. Just did enough there, McIndoe, to prevent any real venom and danger in the cross.
That was a great run. Again, Sam Ricketts perfectly happy to go forward from that right-back position, and McIndoe really has got to work hard to stay back and do a turn for his team.
Real determination, steely look in his eyes over these last few weeks. Really felt it, didn't he, in the colours of Wolves last season as they were denied by West Bromwich Albion in the playoffs. Felt he had a point to prove as well after being released at Molineux in the summer. His contribution has been as important as most for Bristol City and for Gary Johnson's side this season. Adebola. Here's Nick Carr, who's never scored. He will still have to wait, but didn't he work it well?
Well, he just curses himself because this is fantastic. Quick feet, he arrives, shifts the ball. He hasn't got time. You've got to give credit to Hull City's defenders as they come in and close. It's Wayne Brown that gets across to put him under pressure, but you can see he's frustrated. He feels he should have at least hit the target there. But the signs are good for Bristol City.
He's an Australian international, Nick Carr, and he's been in communication in the build-up to the game with one of his Socceroo teammates, Tim Cahill, telling him what to expect on the big occasion and on the big stage of the Premier League. Cahill would have been proud of the build-up, but finished just eluding Carl. Noble. Wayne Brown. Windass. Harry again, getting in there first. The battle of the veterans.
He's just not allowing Dean Windass a moment, is he? Lewis Carey.
Marvin Elliott. Adebola.
Just took too many touches. Marvin Elliott wanted a first-time ball laid out to that right-hand side as he had burst forward from midfield.
This time Windass did get the jump. Fraser Campbell, cross comes to McAllister, in goes the challenge, waved away by Alan Wiley. Resulting cross is an inviting one at the far post.
Well, both
get there though, Barnby.
I was going to say, both fullbacks have got good defending to do here. First of all, it's McAllister there, look, just gets a foot on the ball, that's a great tackle. And then at the far post, as Windass stands this up, Bradley Orr has to win this, and he does so. Nick Barnby coming in behind him.
We've just seen Hull City's best moments of this final so far. They reward their corner, and the Bristol City defence deprived of one of its key men. Bradley Orr feeling the effects of giving away this corner. In it's swept by Hughes. Happy to see it go wide there, Bristol City.
And Turner has got on the score sheet from set pieces many times this season. Iliad Ebola not happy. He feels he was being held down here as the ball comes in. They have a little battle there. He climbs all over the back of him. He just misses anyway, thankfully, from a Bristol City perspective.
5 goals from the back this season. Brown still down to 10 men here, Bristol City, as Bradley Orr gets treatment. Now McAllister. Carl. Elliott, he's filling in at the moment at right back for Bradley Orr. Now Lee Tramble trying to manoeuvre it onto that left foot of it. Good block by Brown. Here's McIndoe. Teed up towards Fili Adebola. Away by Wayne Brown. This is Carl now for Bristol City. Ashby just got in there, body between man and ball, and Carl took the bait.
Well, that's what Ian Ashby does ever so well for his Hull City team, mops things up, and Nick Carl, it's a silly free kick to give away. His team were on attack, and he's hacked into the back of Ian Ashby.
It was in clearing it away from Nicky Barmby that he picked up that injury. Just looks a cut above the eye, doesn't it?
It was brave defending. He had to win it for his team. Nicky Barmby was stealing in there.
Barmby for Hughes. Space here for Ricketts, the Welsh international fullback. Goes to the far post where there is no Bradley Orr, of course. Barmby with the overhead. Fraser Campbell missed it. McAllister can clear it.
Just one or two signs, isn't it, over the last 5 minutes from Hull City. You can hear the crowd responding to that.
It's a first half too, this first half, which has ebbed and flowed just when Bristol City threatened that they might gain the higher ground, so Hull have come right back at them. Still Bradley Orr gets treatment. Look to utilise the pace of Fraser Campbell. Here's Brian Hughes. Ricketts. Windass. This is a good spell from Hull. It's Ricketts' cross. It's Garcia. It is just over.
Super football from Hull City. Again, they link up ever so well down that right-hand side. It's Dean Windass and Ricketts this time. It's a lovely ball, and Garcia coming in from wide there to get on the end of this. And as he gets in there, it's just a fraction too high, but that will give Hull City an awful lot of encouragement.
Scored a wonderful goal, didn't he, in the home rout, as it turned out, particularly in the second half against Watford. Still we wait for the first name on the Wembley score sheet of the playoff final. The Premier League prize awaiting in 2008. Ashby. Well, Orr is back on, so Bristol City have a little more steel to their defence. Certainly full complement in terms of numbers restored. Garcia. Ashby. Dawson.
It's good pressure, isn't it, from Bristol City? Good closed down as a team, forced Hull back.
Perry wins it again. Noble. Marvin Elliott. Whistle went to mouth, no advantage came, so free kick follows. They'll take it quickly. Looking to catch Bristol City unawares. Ricketts. Dawson. Bristol City are being stretched out of shape. Dawson hangs it up. McAllister got the touch. Here's Dean Windass.
He's trying to lift that back up and over, but Hull are really forcing the issue now. This time it's from the left-hand side, and Dawson crosses it. Fontaine misses it, and Dean Windass trying to lift that back to the far post. But he's getting more involved now, isn't he, Dean Windass? And you can see the reason why, because they've turned this round now, Hull City. They're now enjoying the lion's share of the ball.
Really Adebola looking to help it on, but using foul means to get above Brown. What's encouraging in terms of the game as a spectacle, though, both sides trying to play their football.
It's been a fantastic opening 25 minutes, hasn't it? They're both confident teams, full of belief. They believe that they can go and impose their own game on the opposition and go on and win this game and get their club up into the Premier League.
Backing in there, Dean Windass. Alan Wiley keeping an eagle eye on that developing duel.
called him over, didn't he? Dean Windass called Alan Wiley over at him there, didn't he? I think wants to explain a few things. As the ball comes up towards him, he's got his eyes fixed on, he is backing. Lewis Carey goes up early. There's not an awful lot wrong with that, to be honest. Alan Wiley was in close proximity.
They might just feel, Bristol City, that they've weathered a little bit of the storm. Chance for them anyway to spend some time in the opposition half. Ashby again there to mop up in front of his back four. Barmby hoping that Windass was on his way. Ricketts, Ashby, now Garcia. There's the man who thought he was among the substitutes still this morning. Brought in late on, the first time he's been in the starting lineup for the best part of 2 months. Ashby looks long, Campbell tries to get him behind, ball checks. And it was much closer than it might have been.
Well, Peter Beardsley spoke before the game about how the ball bounces and checks, and it does here. It holds up in the grass, and Nicky Barmby just runs under it. It's checked up that much, and Bristol City get lucky.
Adebola, McIndoe, looking for Trundle, only finding Brown. McAllister. Brown again. Part of the Ipswich setup, although not the Ipswich side. And they got one of their rare playoff successes here. The final season of the playoffs at the old Wembley it was. Trundle slid in for Adebola.
Stronger from him again, isn't it? Hunting in packs, Hull City back there. Very, very good unit.
Carl now. McIndoe. It's neither one thing nor the other in the end.
Again, gets crowded out. Lots of amber shirts around you when you get that ball in the final third.
Fontaine. Here's Carl. Orr. And Noble. McIndoe. Trying to turn it round the corner. Turner was there. Now Brown to clear. And Garcia. Fraser Campbell. Shrugs there Fontaine. Finds Barmby. Dawson. Hughes. Ricketts makes his move down the Hull City right. Free weight in the middle. Barmby at the far post. Windass underneath it. Well, this is the first of 3 big playoff games here at the National Stadium. Tomorrow an all-Yorkshire affair, Doncaster against Leeds United 2:30, Sky Sports 2 and HD2. And on Bank Holiday Monday, Greater Manchester comes to North London. It's Rochdale against Stockport in League 2. That's Monday 2:30, Sky Sports 2, and in high definition as well. McIndoe. And a chance for him to run at Ricketts. Looks for Adebola. Carl. Noble. McIndoe again has come in to try and get some joy centrally. asking Trundle to move wide. Carl. Noble. Tries of shoot from the Bristol City supporters, no surprise after his contributions in the semi-final. Trundle, away by Brown. Promising Bristol City build-up, delivered little in the end. Well over half an hour played, and it's turning out to be as enthralling and captivating a contest as we thought it might be. Not a whole load of chances, but two teams who are certainly trying to do things the right way.
Absolutely. There's been a good opening part to this match. I think both managers will be fairly content with the way their teams have settled down into this match. Just still waiting for that real clear opening that could turn this game.
Bubbling under, isn't it? Waiting for a catalyst, a spark. And there are players out there who can provide it. Noble being one of them. Trundle certainly another. Just wanted too much time.
I think that's where he really wanted to get that ball onto his left foot. And Hull City, they've done the homework. They know all about Lee Trundle, and they didn't let him.
Pulled back by Alan Wiley. It was significant in the home game, particularly against Crystal Palace. And he prevented him largely getting the ball on his left foot at all. The two occasions he did. Once he scored a decisive goal, and the other time he hit the crossbar.
Well, he has got a fantastic left foot. Terrific ability to strike the ball hard. He can bend it, he can place it. He's got good, quick feet. He's very, very one-sided. That might be the only criticism, really.
Dawson. Bristol City captain. Looking for Trundle. Looking the check on the ball, makes life awkward. Lee Trundle might just be able to get some joy here. And get some help from Adebola.
Well, Michael McIndoe's holding his arms out because he was up there in support of Lee Trundle. If he could have just turned out and rolled it back.
Carl, early ball, hits Trundle. Now McIndoe. Back in by Carl. Adebola came off the back of the head of Turner. Made it look cool and composed under pressure.
It's getting tighter and tighter out there, isn't it? It's going to take a moment of magic, or maybe a mistake, perhaps a concentration.
Barnby makes a present of it to McIndoe. Is that the mistake you're talking about, Don? Hasn't proved costly, not this time anyway. Just over 10 minutes left on the first half. As the minutes tick by, everyone is so aware of the significance. It's a club-changing afternoon for these two in terms of the financial rewards and the prestige, the locations on the map that they will be looking at next season. Old Trafford, Anfield, the Emirates Stadium, Stamford Bridge. No surprise as the clock ticks on, so it gets more nervy.
Significance of the first goal in these games often proves decisive, doesn't it? Both managers, both clubs, both teams will be fully aware of that.
Carl. Orr. McAllister. McIndoe. Just eased out of it by Ashby. Too much so for Alan Wiley's liking.
Well, he felt that Michael McIndoe had overrun that and that he was stronger than him in the challenge, but again, Alan Wiley was right. In the perfect position to see what was going on there.
So a Bristol City set piece. Closer to the halfway line than the penalty box, but nonetheless, sure it's a base that has been covered by Gary Johnson. McAllister will take it. Cluster of red on the edge of the box. A flurry of movement and a Hull City clearance. Carl. McAllister. Adebola. Fontaine of absolute Barnby. Noble. Carl. Noble for McIndoe. Now McAllister. Turner on hand for Hull. Marvin Elliott. Trundle. Down towards McIndoe. Ashby going to loop it clear. And Bristol City just starting to turn the screw a little bit. Looking for that elusive end product though. It's Elliott towards McIndoe. It's Dele Adebola and it's away by Ricketts.
Well, it's his first touch. Gets away from him. Now Hull City can counter-attack.
It's Nick Barnby. Windass to his right, Campbell to his left. Hull City's top scorer, Fraser Campbell. A slip by Lewis Carey. Windass! Quite simply, destined to be from Team Windass. A clinical volley, a vital step forward, and who knows, maybe that's the moment from the hometown boy that for 104 years of history, the city of Hull has been dreaming about.
Well, it's fairy tale stuff, isn't it? For the first time, Fraser Campbell is allowed to turn and run, and he leaves the defenders on their backside, but then he's got the presence of mind to spot Windass, and how about that for volleying technique? It is first class, gets his head still, watches the ball right onto his foot. Well, the rest is history. That is absolutely magnificent. And nothing more than Phil Brown would expect from a player of Dean Windass's quality. What a big goal.
Doesn't he know it? Number 201 of an illustrious and lengthy career in English football.
You just couldn't write the script, could you?
I thought all the endings had been used up in those semi-finals with the Windass and Barnby double act, but another chapter written. Daring to dream. Very nearly halfway there now, though. And the fairy godfather, Dean Windass. And a wave of that right boot has put Hull into the driving seat.
It was clinical, absolutely clinical. Adriano Basso, Bristol City's player of the year, absolutely no chance of keeping that ball out of the net.
And Bristol City bounce back, McIndoe's offside. And it all came, didn't it, from a Bristol City attack that broke down?
Well, it was a counter-attack, there's no doubt about it. Bristol City were enjoying possession, and Dean Windass has punished them, and this is how. As I say, good movement from Campbell. He gets Liam Fontaine, wrong foots him, and then Lewis Carey slips. But he looks up. This is what's brilliant about it. He picks out Dean Windass, and look how far away Adriano Basso is from that. It is a brilliant, brilliant goal.
History now favours Hull City, as you can see. A little bit of concern, though, over Bradley Orr, who was injured, remember, earlier on, clearing away as Nicky Barnby tried to head it in. He's going to need some more treatment. Can tell it's a worrying one, because the Hull City players first to call over medical help.
It's a bit concerning the way that they had him sit down there. It tends to make you think that he might have lost a little bit of consciousness.
Lost one defender in the build-up to the game through illness. His injury going to deny Bristol City another key cog in their defensive machine. arrival of the stretcher doesn't improve the outlook for Bristol City.
This may be the reason that he's down there and feeling a bit woozy there. As he goes up, he clashes heads badly with Nicky Barmby there. While that was quite some considerable time ago, it was a nasty collision, and maybe it's kind of a delayed reaction going on here.
Well, he's got so much swelling now, the eye barely opening, and understandably considerable concern. Time for Bristol City to take stock, and the manager has told his son to get ready for action. Well, it looks like an unhappy end to what has been a very positive season for Bradley Orr. All this moments after the hammer blow to Bristol City hopes delivered by Dean Windass. Every medical precaution being taken. No doubt it is a head injury. Let's hope it's not too serious a one. Meantime, in terms of Lee Johnston's introduction, you would think he would come into midfield, and one of the midfielders probably switching back to filling at right back. We saw Elliott do it when All was off the field earlier on, but he's a big miss in midfield.
Yeah, well, they've got some things to sort out tactically, haven't they? And Marvin Elliott would be the obvious choice to put back at right back. Lee Johnson slotting in. Dean Windass's goal certainly on the counter-attack, wasn't it? Because Bristol City were the ones doing the pressing at this moment in time, and Dilly Adebola, it's a poor first touch. The ball gets cleared, and all of a sudden, Hull spring forward. But look at Fraser Campbell's movement. He takes the defender away, and then he darts into the space. It's brilliant striking, and from here on in, it's about two things. Fraser Campbell's skill and awareness, and as he pulls it back, this stunning, spectacular volley from Dean Windass. And that really is as good as it gets.
Well, that is the decisive moment in this match. Few will begrudge it to Dean Windass.
They kept him quiet for 15-20 minutes, didn't they, at the start of this game? And all of a sudden he just started finding a bit of space and getting on the ball and getting more involved.
You said, Don, didn't you, that it would be a moment of brilliance, perhaps combined with a mistake, and probably both those elements involved in the goal. Different areas of the field. 6 added minutes. So the first half will go into the 50s. And as the minutes tick on, so the concern rises for the condition of Bradley Orr.
Marvin Elliott trying to rouse his teammates there. This is the last thing that Bristol City, no supporters wanted or needed. He has been an influential player for them this season, Bradley Orr. And our thoughts are with him. He's got some talking to do, hasn't he, Gary Johnson, at half-time. We heard big Sam Allardyce before the game say that'll be the time that he can earn his corn and he can influence those boys. It's half-time team talk. It's all changed in a flash, because I'm pretty sure he would have been relatively satisfied with the way the game was going until that moment of magic from Dean Windass.
conversation with the referee there, Dean Windass. No doubt still talking about that incident earlier when he was penalised for backing in. I think he is, you know.
He is, you can see by his actions. He's saying I was going back, he came over the top of me. But Alan Wiley, very, very experienced referee. First class, enjoys communicating with the players, and that's a real positive for me.
Recently a recipient as well of Sir Alex Ferguson's famous hairdryer treatment. It was he who gave the handball against Michael Carrick in the Premier League meeting at Stamford Bridge towards the late of the season, which ensured that the race for the Premier League title went right to the wire. A race for a Premier League place. Well, City have their noses in front, and Bristol City have some regrouping to do. Bradley Orr prepares to leave the field with the thoughts of everyone here at Wembley Stadium with him. And as a whole, this massive Championship playoff crowd rises to its feet to applaud Bradley Orr. Players as well.
It's good to see. Absolutely, really, really good to see.
So comes the change, and after the disappointment of being left out of the starting lineup, Lee Johnson, who missed the end of the season through injury, that's why he hasn't been a regular in the side, will come on, and it does look, to start off with at least, like the presence of Marvin Elliott will be sacrificed from midfield and will take up position at right back. And Elliott caught into action straight away. That's helped on by McIndoe, and so on by Trundle. Adebola. Brown is down. Carl. What sort of response will Bristol City have to the upheaval, both in terms of the goal conceded and in terms of losing a key man in unfortunate circumstances? Early signs are positive. Noble. Tidied up by Wayne Brown. Noble looking for Trundle. Brown to clear. Remember, 6 minutes of added time were shown, but it could well be more. And the goal for Bristol City would change the complexion completely once again. They seek it here. Looking for Adebola, away by Brown.
That's a good response, isn't it? Since the stoppage. And the crowd are getting right behind them. They want to finish this half with a flourish.
Elliott. Campbell again to tow it away from Fontaine. Windass and Ashby, Barnby too, joining the attack. It's good recovery by Fontaine. Now McIndoe. Carl.
Many options in front of them at the moment.
Find the one that is there in Dele Adebola.
When you look at the way Hull City broke to score that goal, it was really fast break, full of drive and determination to get up and support the front boys. It really should be setting an example to Bristol City on how breaking it up and counter-attacking is done.
Lee Johnson. Trundle wants it early. Adebola, the lone figure in red inside the Hull penalty area. Now Noble. Trundle, McIndoe there now. And a dig from distance from Noble.
Well, he brought the right to that with his spectacular goal in the first leg of the semi-final at Selhurst Park, didn't he? But not his best effort.
In the 7th minute of added time at the end of the first half now. And an injury to Bradley Orr, which understandably took the shine off a most wonderful and most memorable goal of Dean Windass. Scored a few in his career. It might just go down as the most memorable and the most significant. Bristol City will have something to say about it, but Hull exactly where they want to be as this first half comes to a close. Carl.
Well, Lee Johnson slotting in there. He will be getting his foot on the ball. He's an orchestrator of moves, isn't he, for Bristol City? Disappointed when he got injured, but like you say, he's come on the field and he's got plenty of time to prove influential on this game.
Carry away. One of the initial things you notice about this new midfield pairing is it's not the biggest, is it? Lee Johnson and Nick Carl.
It's very creative, though. That'll be the positive for it.
Windass, can he touch for Barnby? Now Ashby. Johnson breaks it up. Looks for Dele Adebola.
Turner again, he's been everywhere, hasn't he? Back there.
Demonstrating on the big stage, Michael Turner, why he was voted the Hull City Player of the Year. Now Lewis Carey. Adebola beaten in the air by Turner. Hughes. Garcia. Fontaine. Adebola. Trundle. Goalkeeper always the favourite to get there first, and so it proved. Foul on Garcia. Frustrations for McAllister. The last thing they need is a man losing their cool, Bristol City. Since the start of the day, and now they've lost two defenders for a variety of reasons. And they've lost a goal to this man. A very special moment for Dean Windass is what separates these two sides and what puts Hull City in the driving seat for that final Premier League place next season. A moment to savour for Hull City, and that is why they lead here at Wembley by 1-0 at half-time.
But there is still only one goal in it, remember that. Bristol City fans will have to remember that. We'll get the thoughts of Dion Dublin, Sam Allardyce and Peter Biggery when we come back. But after 140 years outside the top tier, one of their own has given Hull City a real fighting chance. More live football today coming your way on Sky Sports with Giovanni Trapattoni's first international in charge of the Republic of Ireland. He's taking on Serbia from 7:30 on Sky Sports 2, and the Scottish Cup final. Queen of the South taking on Rangers right now on Sky Sports Extra. And here at Wembley in the Championship playoff final, Hull City have a half-time lead by 1-0. We did play, 8 and 9 minutes of stoppage time in that first half for Bristol City's Bradley Orr, the right-back, who was hit twice on the cheekbone. The news is we understand that he has a depressed, fractured cheekbone. We'll get confirmation of that for you, but Bradley Orr's afternoon is over and he's on his way to the nearest accident and emergency hospital that Bristol City's doctors can find. Dion Dublin, Sam Allardyce and Peter Biggery are here in the studio this afternoon. Dion, does that kind of give us an idea of Bristol City's day so far when they lose Jamie McComb in the build-up to the game? They lose Bradley Orr in the first half as well.
Gary's having a bit of a stinker, so to speak, with his players. But I thought Bristol started very well. I thought Dele up front was doing very well against Big Brown. Brown getting slightly too close on some occasions. And here, you know, it just underlines the fact that Dele is so strong. Brown tries to get the wrong side of him. Dele's held him off, and all he needs to do is get a good connection. You know, it should be a goal. It should be a goal.
That was first 5 minutes, and another chance for Nick Carr before Hull had really got into the game, Sam.
Yes, and I think that what Gary's going to be disappointed about is they haven't scored. And to get these sort of chances in a playoff final, you must, on this occasion at least, hit the target, but certainly Adebola's chance must hit the back of the net. And the price you pay is what Dean Windass has done to Bristol City after a good start from them. Is you know, they've come back with flying colours, all City, and got the feet, got the composure, and now started to play a lot more football than Bristol City.
It's a moment of magic, Pete, from the partnership we talked about before the game.
Well, yeah, and it started with Bristol City in decent possession, and Adebola, you know, should retain the ball there and doesn't. Barmby picks it up in midfield, and you watch the young lad's movement there, away from the ball and then into that channel, and this is where he has presence and poise. Looks like he's going to get a shot off himself. Doesn't panic, picks his head up, picks the right option, and there it is. You know, you can coach that, as we've seen before the match.
It's a perfect finish, isn't it, dear?
It's a very good finish. I thought, you know, the young lad's done very well, great composure. But what's frustrating for Gary is there's 5 red shirts and there's only 2 in the box. And Dino's on the edge of the box, unmarked. They've all been blinkered to what's on the edge of the box.
How many times do you see it though, Dion, when people are marking space instead of marking people inside the box?
You know, it'll go in a half time and say, you know, it's a bad goal to concede. It really is great football by the young lad.
Practice makes perfect, as we see, Pete.
Well, I mean, I did say that I'm a massive loss to the coaching fraternity, and I'll say it again, you know, because you got to laugh the first time. So, but there you are. Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? There you go.
We talked before the game as well about the belief from Bristol City. All season they've had to try and prove people wrong. Sam, they're 1 down. They've lost a key player as well. Can you see a way back for them?
Oh yes, it's only 1-0, and many things can happen. I think what's going to be very important for Gary is his team talk now. Obviously they lost McCabe as well through illness, so that's 2 key players that have gone down. But this is what happens in football, and he'll be asking the lads to, you know, say you've only got this one chance. You've only got 45 minutes now. You've got to go out and put the first half behind you and give it your all.
They've come an awful long way, these Bristol City fans. Their day is not over yet. They have 45 minutes to get back into it. The Tigers, though, with that half-time lead. Sky box office tonight for Hatton's Homecoming up against Juan Lascano. Tonight at 7:30 with replays tomorrow. Channel 755 or 756 in high definition. For more information, 08442 410 888. Cable customers should contact their local operator. Here come Hull City then, leading 1-0 in the first half of this Coca-Cola Championship playoff final. Dean Windass, 21 years after being shown the door by Brian Horton at Hull City, may well have got the goal that takes them to the Premier League for the first time in their history. Commentators Don Goodman and Bill Leslie.
Well, whatever happens, it is the final game of the season for these two, and just once in this long and arduous campaign have Hull been ahead in a game and gone on to lose. That was all the way back on day 1 at the KC Stadium at home to Plymouth. They can hold on here, and in 45 minutes' time, it's as simple as that. They will be a Premier League club, and that has never been said before. Bristol City, we'll look at the fact that last season they were playing in the 3rd level of English football. They'll look at the fact that it's been 28 years since they were relegated from the top tier. They'll look at all the effort they put in over the 46 games of the Coca-Cola Championship season, and they'll look at the fact that they have 45 minutes to keep their top-flight dream alive. No changes to personnel at half-time. That's away by Brown. This is Lee Johnson, who came on for the stricken Bradley Orr, and this is Marvin Elliott, who replaces him at right-back. Cut out by Ashby. On by Adebola. McIndoe. His contribution in the second half will be key. Lee Johnson. Nick Carl. Lively start by Bristol City. Carl. Wide.
It might be wide, but it is a lively start by Bristol City. He's going to need a little bit more of the same. It's their midfielders linking up here. Johnson back heels to Carl. It opens up a little bit for him. Decides to let fly. He's way off target, but at least it's a statement of positive intent.
And you would sense that they would be looking for this goal sooner rather than later, Bristol City. They'll be only too aware of the threat on the bench. The likes of Caleb Folan, who possesses such power and pace. Fagan, a playoff winner with Derby County last season. Ricketts looks long for Hull, to the provider of that goal that separates the sides, Fraser Campbell. Showed great maturity, didn't he, with his decision-making to pick out the veteran Dean Windass.
That was very, very unselfish play, wasn't it? His opportunity had gone as he drifted wider, but he had the presence of mind to look up, spot a free Dean Windass and deliver the perfect pass for him to thrash that volley into the back of the net.
Ricketts.
I just feel there's more to come from the forward players of Bristol City. Dilly Adebola, Lee Trundle, and the two wide boys, McIndoe and Noble. Bristol City will want to get them much, much more involved if they possibly can.
Garcia. Now Andy Dawson, who hopes he'll be joining his kid brother Michael in the Premier League next season. Michael of Spurs, of course. Family already a winner on this ground this season. He was part of that Carling Cup winning side for Tottenham. Another factor as well, Don, is the heat here at Wembley. Might be a slightly overcast afternoon. Slight breeze as well, but it is touching 30 degrees, we understand, down there pitch side. And you can see the temperature gauge down by the dugout.
It's hot down there.
Helped on by Garcia. Basso out in the nick of time.
You just wonder at what stage, might be another 20-25 minutes from now before we feel the effects of this hot day. But at some stage, there will be players wilting out there, you would think.
McIndoe. Lee Johnson wants it. McIndoe has other ideas. This is Noble. Trying to work her way through. Came off the arm of Hughes. And Bristol City have hope.
Well, he looks dumbfounded, doesn't he? He's saying, how on earth is this intentional? He's about half a yard away. It's lifted up. He can't possibly do anything about that. This could be a big arguing point if Bristol City manufacture anything from this.
I mentioned already that he was the referee who gave that Carrick-Ham ball, which allowed Chelsea to beat Manchester United in the closing stages of the Premier League campaign. Well, this is Bristol City's reward here.
They do work hard, very, very hard on set pieces. They are a threat.
Noble and McIndoe, the two standing over it. David Noble hits it, but straight down the throat of Myhill.
It's a tame effort, really. At the end of the day, doesn't really generate any power. He gets it up and round. It's easy pickings for Boaz Myhill.
He scored one not unlike that on the final day of the season as they saw off Preston. 3-0 win, and he got the third from the free kick, David Noble.
I think that one ended up in the stanchion, though, didn't it?
Nudge from Fraser Campbell. "15 goals this season, and none in the last 3, but we've already seen what else he brings to the party for Hull. Comfortable enough, Adriano Basso. Let's get a word with our touchline man, Greg Whelan.
Thanks indeed, Bill. Just confirmation, really, that Bradley Orr has now left Wembley Stadium. He's on his way to the Central Middlesex Hospital, accompanied by his father, I might add. Bristol City staff do suspect a depressed fracture of the cheekbone. There was a degree of concussion as well, but at least when I saw him, he was conscious and he was sitting up. So hopefully some good news for Bradley Orr.
Lee Johnson looking up for Dilly Adebola. Might come down from McIndoe here. Trundle's done well. Plenty of bodies back in the box for Hull. McAllister. McIndoe.
He's asking for a corner. I think it's more in hope than expectation. Again, he goes up, he's getting himself in there. He's suggesting it comes off Wayne Brown, but it doesn't. It's a good decision by the officials.
Not the tallest, is he, Michael McIndoe? Did well to become the jam in the Hull City sandwich, but unable to find the target. Signs of early promise from the men from the West Country, though. Windass. Campbell turned into traffic in the form of the Bristol City captain. Slip from Basso, not too costly. Trundle had to touch it on with his arm, but the referee's wave play on.
Well, he played an advantage. Bristol City weren't able to capitalise.
And they're attacking their own supporters in this second half, that end of the ground, and plenty of noise coming from the contingent in red as they will their side back into this final, trailing by that wonderful Dean Windass goal. Look for the free kick, they won't get it, just the corner. A throw right in the corner, I should say.
It's a similar pattern to the first half, isn't it? Bristol City asking the questions early on.
Back in an offside position.
That's silly, really. You've got to know your whereabouts on the pitch. Takes the throw in and moves forward from it. Look, he's clearly offside. You've got to be aware of little things like that.
Melvin Elliott is used to playing on the big occasion in that position. I seem to remember he played right back for Millwall in the FA Cup against Manchester United at the Millennium Stadium. It was some 3-4 seasons ago now. Certainly been one of the revelations of this season for Bristol City. And like Bradley Orr, who's now since departed, of course, he also voted in the PFA Team of the Season.
Brown a little bit animated about something. I think it's the Dean Windass thing again. Every time there's an aerial challenge, there's a coming together between Dean Windass and Lewis Carey. And he's got it this time.
It's given them a platform, hasn't it, that goal? But it has by no means guaranteed anything just yet. Still plenty of work to do for Hull City to turn the long-held dream into reality. So easy to forget they're on the brink of extinction back in the late 90s. Gates to Boothbury Park were locked. Ashby. Good crossing by Windass. Garcia rose well, but so too did Fontaine. Now Ashby. Didn't quite get it as he wanted it, Ricketts.
Sport and football, it's about progression, isn't it? When you think where Hull City came from this time last season, they just escaped relegation to League One. And they're so close to making it to that Premier League.
As I think back from the Bristol City point of view, as they get another useful-looking free kick. Turner penalised for climbing on his opposite number.
This is what Dean Windass was complaining was going on with him before, but this time it's a big physical tussle, isn't it? Got his arms around him. Alan Wiley deciding that's an infringement.
Another chance for them to show off their set-piece prowess. The one that found a way through against Crystal Palace. It's known as the Weasel on the training ground. I wonder what the call is here from McIndoe, who's involved right in the thick of it. Lee Johnson making his move to this left-hand side. Lewis Carey as well, the man who scored the goal at Selhurst Park. The piece is in place here.
It doesn't look 10 yards back, that ball, but...
McIndoe strikes, deflected wide. Corner kick, nothing more.
Very, very quickly appeals for a penalty and then sprints off to take the corner as he strikes it well. Caught the top of the arm, didn't it?
Taken quickly. Bristol City looking to capitalise on a good moment and very nearly managing to do so. Trundle put it wide.
I think it was Leon Fontaine that got the closest to forcing this in. Short one, lifted up, they attack it well. Yeah, it's Trundle nips in. Is this a handball? This is what they're claiming for. It strikes the top of the shoulder there. I think you'd be very lucky to get a penalty for that.
Well, they're looking for something to get their teeth into, Bristol City. Brown, that he moved towards the ball, that's what they will feel. That's certainly what Michael McIndoe felt. And crucially not what Alan Wiley felt. Noble. Brown. Windass wins the header. Campbell. There's a Campbell, good bustling run, showing his strength and his ambition. Came off Carlo. Now Lee Johnson looking for Adebola.
It's good defending again. Hull City are going to have to be on their toes.
Dawson and Ashby to combine. If Hull do get what they want here this afternoon, will have played those two in all 4 divisions with this football club over the last 5 seasons. Extraordinary, really, the rise from the bottom to the top. Not there yet, but well on the way, Hull. It came off Windass. Campbell offside.
He just went very early, but it must have been fairly tight. He has got bags of pace to burn. He probably doesn't need to go, and to me, he's not offside. He's level. And that should have been allowed to go on.
Johnson for Adebola. Windass. Campbell dusts himself down, picks himself up.
You can see Bristol City are doing the pressing. They've had 7 attempts in this game, but it's Hull's only attempt that has been decisive. 1 on target, spectacular though it was, 1 goal.
Carl. It's a good run from him. Intercepted by Turner, who can now turn defence into attack. Campbell, Turner's continued his run. Campbell for Windass. Hughes. Ricketts, now Garcia.
You get the feeling Hull have settled for this lead, don't you, really? The way they're sort of casually trying to keep a hold of the ball and not really look to progress forward. Could be a dangerous game, that.
Marvin Elliott, Lee Trundle. Look to the referee. Then waved away, here's Nicky Barmby. Dean Windass. Ashby prevailed and worked it through to Barmby. Now Campbell. Campbell to do it all single-handedly. Didn't get the power in the shot.
Pointing, he wanted the ball played earlier into a bit of space. Felt that he had broken free.
Vibrant passage of play from Bristol City at the moment. McIndoe. They back off. McIndoe will get another bite at it. Might need some support. Might not. Some of the defending by Dawson.
Look who's back there. It's Fraser Campbell, isn't it? All the way back, helping his defenders out. And as this game goes on, Hull just dropping a little bit deeper.
And it's about this time of the match Phil Brown tends to make a change. He might do before too long. That's sailed up by McAllister. How to keep it alive, Noble, arriving late.
It was difficult to see what he's trying to do. He's trying to pull the ball back into an area It's a decent ball into that far post, and you see Noble makes up a lot of ground, tries to pull it back. Good positioning from Myhill.
Judging by the pattern adopted by the Hull manager in the two playoff semi-finals, Dean Windass and Nicky Barmby tend to get about an hour before Caleb Folan and Craig Fagan come on.
We'll be watching them both very closely now, aren't he?
Barmby might yet have something to say here. It checks, Barmby jumps, Basso claims at the second attempt.
He's not happy with the challenge. It's a couple of times that the ball has bounced high and it's checked and slowed down. He's got every right to go for that. I don't know whether Basso thinks he's leading with his arm.
Trundle, Noble. It's Bristol City who will make the change. Ivan Sprawl.
Bristol City substitution, David Noble.
David Noble, who nominally is playing right on the right of midfield, but has spent a lot of the afternoon in a more central position, replaced by an out-and-out winger. Ivan Sprawl, the Northern Ireland international, fleet-footed.
Well, this fella is fleet-footed. He has got pace to burn, and he's going to represent a whole new challenge to that Hull City back four.
Contribution from Sprawl. Stefan Lee Johnson, fellow substitute. McAllister, McIndoe. Not beyond Dean Windass. Windass did pull back at him. Lewis Carey. Target Adebola. Finds its target as well. Carlin now.
It's a dangerous game. Sam Ricketts trying to let the ball run out. Never had enough pace on it.
Lee Johnson. Liam Fontaine. Fontaine's cross towards Adebola, away by Barmby.
Well, Hull have got one up, and the ball just keeps coming out to Bristol City.
McAllister has a try this time, Adebola. They're containing the threat, but only just.
There's still plenty of time in this match for Bristol City. You get the feeling the longer it goes, the more bodies they have to commit forward, though, that they will leave one or two gaps that Hull may be able to exploit, but it's a gamble that you just have to take under these circumstances.
And goodness me, aren't the stakes high as well. Windass does get the decision this time. Smile from Fontaine, but more significantly a free kick for Hull.
They're not going to be in any rush to take this, I can assure you.
Well, there is Caleb Folan. Craig Fagan making his way past as well. To the usual suspects to come on. Meantime, Windass and Dawson stand over this for Hull. Already leading by Windass's sweet first half volley. Windass strikes it, but not as he would have wanted. A little slip there as well, I think. McAllister. comes the first of those Hull changes.
Substitution, Nicky Barmby.
12 months ago, a playoff winner with Derby County. Comes on looking to do the double. No more playoff goals for Nicky Barmby, no more Wembley goals for him. 1989 when he last scored at this stadium, albeit in its previous guise for England's schoolboys. England caps on this ground, and who knows, maybe a promotion with his hometown club sealed and delivered. We'll have to wait and see about that last bit.
He's been very effective, hasn't he, in helping his team in these playoffs. In all the 3 games.
Fagan back on loan from Derby. McAllister, Adebola, Sproul, Elliott, Ivan Sproul. Real threat here from Bristol City. A touch from the goalkeeper, and it bounces and is hooked away by Ricketts. Well, that's what he brings to the party, Sproul. McAllister, Adebola, McIndoe's offside. Knew he couldn't really go for the ball as he would have wanted.
Well, if you're Bristol City, you get the ball to Ivan Sproul because he's got fresh legs. He's coming into the latter stages of the game, and as we've said, he's got pace to burn. Watch the way he goes easily past Dawson, and that's an important touch by Myhill just to take that away. Lee Trundle was hovering in behind there.
McIndoe. Just about a quarter of this final remains. Dean Windas's 39th-minute goal, the separating factor. It's looking increasingly fragile. Carr, felled by Fagan.
Once again, not happy, but once again, Alan Wiley, he's right on the spot, literally a couple of yards away from that. And it's another opportunity to try and work the goalkeeper. They haven't done it as yet.
Discussion between McIndoe and Lee Johnson. Lewis Carey and Liam Fontaine, the 2 centre-halves, are up. Ivan Sproul hanging on the edge of the penalty area, and Bristol City supporters hanging on the edge of their seats. Lee Johnson, the manager's son, denied by the Hull City defences. Carey. It's Cantabile Adebola here. Locked out by Garcia. Sort of frantic defending that you'd expect at this stage of a match with this sort of importance to both clubs, both cities. Fontaine. Garcia. Breezes beyond Lee Johnson. This is a terrific run by Richard Garcia.
That's good defending as well. He's made up a lot of ground there, though, Garcia, for his team. They have been on the back foot in this second half.
Hull City substitution, Dean Windass.
True to form, another Hull City substitution that we might have expected. Dean Windass departs the scene. His first ever game at Wembley looks like being such a memorable one. Let's have a reminder of just why.
Well, if this is the goal that wins it for Hull City, it will be fitting. Absolutely stunning strike.
Being replaced by the team.
You might just see him crowned as the King of Hull. Under 20 minutes.
been an effective substitute, hasn't he, Caleb Folan?
9 goals this season, 6 of them coming off the bench. Ricketts. It's allowed to bounce in there. Always a risky ploy. Fagan. Back comes Swallerton. Play pulled back anyway for a previous infringement.
I think there was a foul in there. He saw Alan Wiley that Fagan was going into the corner and under pressure, he pulled it back.
Hughes and Dawson. It's hit by Hughes. What an awkward one that was to defend.
Marvin Elliott in the end has a real swipe at this. Not really certain what's behind him. He follows, goes in, goes over, has a swing, and very luckily misses it.
It's not the end of the live football today for you on Sky Sports. The Republic of Ireland kick off the reign of Giovanni Trapattoni against Serbia tonight, 7:30, Sky Sports 2. McIndoe. On by McAllister. Here's Lee Trundle. Still going Trundle.
That's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant skill. The only thing is, it ends up on his right foot. He doesn't get the power or the direction, but look at this. He stands Wayne Brown, twists him inside out, and he's unlucky. Great skill.
2 goals in his last 3. 3 in his last 27, Lee Trundle. Just shows you how he's come good towards the end of the season. How he would have wished that could have been on his other foot, though. Might have seen a very different outcome. Carl. Now McIndoe.
Well, they're just pressing, aren't they, Bristol City? Asking the questions. This time it's McIndoe finding space, look. He hits it early. He's swerving away. It's a decent hands by Myhill in the end.
Well, they are the 2 players who've had those efforts, who have been among the goals recently for Bristol City. They are asking the questions, but taking risks as well. Caleb Folan bearing down on Lewis Carey. McIndoe. Upended by Ashby. Well, there's one final throw of the dice available to Gary Johnson and Bristol City, and that is top scorer Darren Byfield. He's almost ready. Towards Dele Adebola, Turner again, a formidable barrier in the way.
Well, he's been a colossal, hasn't he, at the back there? Michael Turner, Player of the Year. Big physical battle with Dele Adebola. Arms around a little bit, look, to be fair. Referee doesn't see anything wrong with that, but if that had been outside the box, you wonder whether we've been blowing the whistle.
Instructions from the bench as the final changes made. Nick Carl sacrifice for Darren Byfield. Quarter of an hour to go, time running out. The unlikeliest of promotees at the start of the season, Bristol City. Still not away from them.
Darren Byfield has scored a playoff winning goal for Walsall at the Millennium. He's got this big game experience.
Saying before the game as well, he would be more than happy to be cast in the role of super sub. Well, it's down to him now. Can he add to the 8 goals this season?
6 of those from the bench as well. Another effective substitute.
Hughes.
They are taking risks now, pushing bodies forward. Marvin Elliott's back in the middle of midfield, look. Fighting for the ball there, and they're playing with 3 defenders, Bristol City.
Against 2 very, very dangerous opponents in Folan and Campbell. Fagan trying to get beyond him. We might just see the first yellow card of this final for Ivan Sproul.
Yeah. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say this is a striker's tap challenge. He chases back well. Fagan does well. Sproul nowhere near the ball. All of this eats up valuable time for Hull City.
Dawson. Fagan. Garcia. Good turn from Garcia. Stinging shot as well.
Oh, super strike. Bristol City looking to get on with it.
Darren Byfield. This is McIndoe. Trundle.
Need to get hold of it. Can't afford it.
A record for a playoff final. The good folk of Bristol and Hull doing their clubs proud. Campbell. There's a good battle with Fontaine. Shirt pulling in there. Free kick for Hull.
Look at those 2 boys. Not long to go now. What a day they've had. I'll just be praying. It's not very often you wish your life away, but I bet they're doing that now.
The veteran section of the Hull City bench. Oh, goodness me, those 2 have played such a part in guiding Hull from the 3rd place finish to the 3rd promotion place. 11 minutes plus added time away now, but 2 Nicky Barmby goals and 2 Dean Windass goals in 3 playoff games. 2 players born in Hull, 2 Hull City supporters. If you'd offered it up as a script before the playoffs, it might have been waved away as unrealistic.
Fantastic story, isn't it?
Brian Hughes. Oh, Hull would love a second to get a bit of breathing space and start those celebrations a little bit early. Garcia. It's great tenacity from Garcia. Cut up for Caleb Folan. Real chance here. And it hit Fraser Campbell and is cleared away.
Fraser Campbell was down with cramp, saw that it was coming towards him and got up and nearly got his head on that and diverted it in.
McIndoe. Trundle. Trying to get the curl on the ball, he lost the accuracy.
Well, that's just been the difference between these 2 teams today. Quality in that final third, whether it be a cross, whether it be a finish or a shot. That's going to be the fundamental difference if it stays the way it is for these Bristol fans.
It might not feel like it if the scoreline stays like this at the end of play and they prepare themselves, they cut their cloth for another season in the Championship, but important to remember, they finished 7-8 points behind Scunthorpe in 2nd place in League One last season. Just look where Scunthorpe are now and look where Bristol City. It's been an astonishing effort this season. Make no mistake, under Gary Johnson, they will come again. No one will be underestimating them next season. I'm sure Hull City won't be underestimating them in the final 10 minutes here either. Sproul. Lee Johnson's got a little bit of space to deal with here. Closed quickly by Fagan. Ivan Sproul. Closed out well on that far side. In goes Lewis Carey. Strong, combative player down. Alan Wiley blows the whistle. Folan may well have hurt himself here. Well, the referee hasn't given anything for the challenge by Lewis Carey.
Well, Lewis Carey was very, very committed. I think the ball was getting away from him. And one thing in his mind. That's to try and retrieve it for his team. And as he lunges in there, look, you can see, gets over the ball, just catches the top of Caleb Folan's foot. There it is there, and that's a painful blow. We've had Fraser Campbell as well, going down with cramp.
Two prongs of the Hull City attack, not operating as they might be. This looks worrying. I mean, you see situations which look like the contact's relatively minimal, but how many times have we seen broken metatarsals and the like spring from something along those lines? Concern etched on the face of Phil Brown. So near, but yet so far from an improbable but extraordinary end to this Hull City season. Came pretty close, didn't they, these two clubs 12 months ago, to swapping places. Phil Brown, half a season in charge to keep them in the Championship. Bristol City closing in on automatic promotion from League One. Could have been a very different story, but here they are. Keenly contested from start to finish. Fascinating contest between two sides who have really punched above their weight in the Championship this season. And it has taken something special, something very special from Dean Windass to put Hull so close to where they have never been before in their history. Hope starting to turn to belief. It's starting to dawn on those hordes in amber that they are so close now. Bristol City, on the other hand, starting to feel that they have come so close and may well have to head back up the M4 empty-handed.
I do feel there's still time. And all they need is that one chance, Bristol City. They won't have given up just yet. And how often do you see late goals and drama in games like this?
Ashby heads on. Seemed to catch an awkward one there, Hughes. Goes in a little wildly, although he didn't make a lot of contact. The referee has given the free kick and may give a little bit more.
Well, he was annoyed. He thought he should have had a free kick just before that.
Holland returns to the fray, but you can't say he's moving as cleanly as he might want to. They have another change in mind, Hull. Away by Ashby. Back in by Carey. Dele Adebola. This is Darren Byfield. McIndoe. Should be the goalkeeper's ball. It's an awkward one for him. It's Trundle, and that could be the most significant moment of this second half. Michael Turner, the Hull City Player of the Year, with an astonishing block.
Well, you're just waiting for the referee to blow his whistle, but he doesn't get anything on it. It's a clean falls to Trundle. What a block that is, and Gary Johnson thinks he cannot believe it. That is a massive moment in this game.
In by Lee Johnson.
Is that the chance?
McIndoe. It's that man Turner again. Player of the Year, they might upgrade it to Player of the Century, although Dean Windass would have something to say about that. In towards Brown, it's fallen to Michael McIndoe, wanted too long. Ashby closed him out. What a finale in Prospect Air as Bristol City fight to the finish. Walking wounded in the amber of Hull.
Well, he's hobbling around, but he's in and around where it counts to clear the danger. Caleb Folan.
McIndoe. McAllister. Folan. Fraser Campbell on the move. Carey could be caught out. Campbell on his own. Folan trying to make up the ground to join him. Campbell.
Well, it's a tired effort. He's disappointed with it, and I'm pretty certain had it been earlier in the game, he would have been looking to run Lewis Carey.
Carey. Adebola target man, and just over agonisingly by Byfield.
Oh, he's holding his head. Again, it's a decent opportunity. As Adebola flicks it on, Byfield just can't quite get above it, but this is the earlier one. Marvin Elliott jumps with Myhill, but it comes to Trundle. Decent touch, but look at Turner, he's out, stretches his whole body and gets a vital block, and look at the agony on their faces.
When it is your day, those sort of opportunities find a way through. The deflection takes it beyond the goalkeeper, not beyond the goal mouth. Bristol playing with a fire that would suggest that they don't think this is beyond them just yet, and they still have hopes of extra time, taking this one all the way. But it is running out 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Byfield, eluded 3. Sprawl. Well, it could have been Sprawl, but Fagan intercepted.
Some tired play out there, isn't there? I dread to think if Bristol can nick one and it goes to extra time, I'm sure they'll find some energy from somewhere.
60 million good reasons why they just might. Adebola, Byfield. Another chance goes begging.
And again, he probably had a little bit more time than he realises here, Darren Byfield. Once again, they have to go long, Bristol City. Adebola wins the flick. I don't know, could he have just taken a little touch to the side there? Credit to Bristol City, they're still having a go. You can see they're still edging the attempts. Not enough of those attempts from Bristol on the goal.
Won by Adebola, Trundle trying to get in behind. Adebola again, Lee Trundle. Around the corner for Sprawl, what a chance! Byfield denied by Ricketts.
Oh, you can see why this team, this Hull City team, don't concede goals. They're prepared to throw their bodies in and get blocks in. And that's a couple of vital ones.
They must be starting to think it's their day now. In the last minute, Sprawl. Hidden hope from Ivan Sprawl.
Look at Dean Windass. He's done his piece. Just doesn't want to watch. But Sam Ricketts, how well does he do here? Again, Adebola wins the header. It's decent play. And Sprawl does well. That's a great ball in there. And Darren Byfield, eyes must be lighting up thinking he's equalising. But what about that? For a fantastic goal-saving challenge. Breaking hearts, isn't he?
And by McAllister. Now goes triangle edge of the box. Nothing given. And now the tens of thousands of Bristol City supporters look to the ball. There it goes, 4 minutes to salvage a dream that looked so unlikely 12 months ago. Back-to-back promotions and the hopes of them drifting away. Campbell goes down, and this time a free kick will be given. And it'll be given to Hull.
And again, it's going to eat up some time. This might take a minute, minute and a half before they even strike this ball.
Campbell down, but Hull by no means out. The end of the stadium, they attack here is just about to erupt. Just over 3 minutes away of a party that the city of Hull has never seen.
Brian Hughes has placed the ball. They've got Garcia out here on the right. Do they pass it out and try and waste time?
Hughes to take it. Wasn't far away.
It's a decent effort. He's got this in the locker, hasn't he, Brian Hughes? Trying to whip that ball round and over. Well, it's not that far away at all, is it? And Dean Windass. Just love that to a nestled.
Could be the reaction of any one of these Hull City supporters who, for the best part of 40 years, has been supporting the club. Well, it is exactly that, in fact. They have always played for them, but they've always had the place in the heart. And it looks like that blow he struck 6 minutes from half-time is the crucial one. Turner. On by Ashby. Carey. Pull back at. Yellow card, no surprise.
I don't know why he's complaining, Fraser Campbell. It's like a rugby tackle, isn't it? Again, from Bristol point of view. Clock's running down.
Trying to run it down a little more by sending on Dean Marnie for these closing 90 seconds.
Fraser Campbell.
Fantastic supporting role played by Fraser Campbell again. Slow move from Manchester United, which has helped ensure that Hull City will be playing Manchester United home and away in the league next season. Last minute. Must be close to the last chance. In by Lee Johnson. Turner got his head to it. Caleb Folan. Off goes Marnie, the freshest legs out there in Hull City colours.
That's the lot, Caleb Folan, that's the lot of Dean Marnie. And now McAllister is down. Cramp.
Well, it seems to be the magic number for Phil Brown. Back five, or I think he'd want a back 10 to repel Bristol City for these agonising closing moments. Lee Johnson. Caleb Folan. 4 minutes up. "104 years of waiting without ever playing in the top division." Liam Fontaine goes forward. Lee Trundle. Adebola. And away by Mile. Still alive, still hope for Bristol City. Angled in again by Lee Trundle. And a massive catch, matched by the massive cheer.
Wayne Brown thinks that's it. Jumps on his keeper's back.
Hull City are in the Premier League, and that is something that no one has ever said before, and anyone's listened. Dean Windass's wonderful, magical goal, the cleanest and purest of strikes, has meant that his boyhood dreams and that of a footballing city have come true here in North London this afternoon. Hello, Premiership. Well, they've had their nervous moments. The smallest of margins separates these two sides, these two cities who've been unlikely contestants for the final Premier League place available this season. But Phil Brown has taken Hull City where they have never, ever been before.
Oh, we knew it was going to be tight, we knew it was going to be tense, we knew it was going to be a close game, but what a fitting goal to win any match of this significance. It's fairy tale stuff, I mean, it's often said, isn't it? But this story, this is going to be right up there with the best fairy tale stories in football.
39 years old, Dean Windass. And one goal that he will never, ever forget. No one associated with Hull and the football club They were nearly out of business in the last decade, and now, boy, are they in business. They're in the Premier League. They're going to Old Trafford, the Emirates Stadium, Stamford Bridge, Anfield and the like. It won't have sunk in there, and I don't think it's sunk into the 11 heroes who started the match. The management team, Phil Brown, who saved them from relegation, let's not forget, 12 months ago. Now he has guided them to the Premier League.
Incredible to think, isn't it? 4 seasons ago, weren't they in the bottom tier of the Football League? I don't care about that now. Incredible scenes.
A movement of Hull City supporters that has never been seen before. And let's get some Hull City reaction. We can cross down to Greg Whelan.
Dean, a fairy tale end to a magnificent year for you and Hull City.
Unbelievable, you can just see what it means to him, mate. I don't think there's anybody left in Hull today, I don't think. It's absolutely surreal, man, I can't believe it. And to score the winning goal, you know, but it's not just about me, the defence and that. For, the majority of the game and all season have been absolutely fantastic and fully deserved. You know, we've worked hard from the start of the season, but, you know, we got all we want.
Your 201st career goal, have you scored many better than that?
No, Wembley, I've never been here before. No, obviously Fraser Campbell, you know, it picked me out and I just volleyed it, you know. Couldn't believe it went in the top corner, but it's just unbelievable. Look at this, it's absolutely fantastic.
39 years old and you're heading for the Premier League. Is this the final chapter you were talking about for your book?
Let me go on holiday first and I'll tell you. No, it's just unbelievable. I'm lost for words and I'm absolutely delighted for the coaching staff. You know, it's Nicky, you know, everybody. It's absolutely unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable.
Nick, you've had some highs in your football career. Tell us how this compares.
Amazing, right up there, you know, fantastic. Your hometown club, never been in the Premiership before. Unbelievable, brilliant.
Tell us what this means for your hometown.
It means everything, you know, it's a knock-on effect for the kids to see Premiership football. You know, we're going there, we're going to compete, but we're going to think about that when we come back pre-season.
If you get your colleague back here, there's also a Man of the Match award for him.
No worries, fantastic.
Perhaps you can present it to him. Well done today.
Well done, thank you. Thank you.
Let's just remind you, 104 years Hull City have been going as a football club. This is the first time they have played in the top tier of English football. The man who masterminded it, Phil Brown, is with Guy Havord.
Phil, many congratulations. How's it feel to be the first Hull City manager ever to get promoted to the top flight?
Marvellous, absolutely marvellous. Feel for them lads over there. They gave it their best shot. At some stage, somebody was going to win the game. How fitting Dean Winders for to get the winner. Fantastic. These boys have played their heart out all season for me. Now we need a big effort in the Premier League.
Do you have a feeling it would be one of your old boys like Dean who might come up today?
I think it was written in the gods, to tell you the truth. It was either going to be Dean Winders or Nicky Barmby, but fabulous feeling. Massive pride for everybody here. Fantastic, absolutely brilliant.
You've been up as a number 2. What's it like to be up as the gaffer?
Nice feeling, much better.
And I suppose your time at Bolton, does that give you heart that Hull can not only stay up next season but ultimately prosper?
Well, that's the model you look at now, Bolton Wanderers. Everybody talks about Derby County and how they've done last year. The model that you've got to look at is the success stories of Bolton Wanderers, Reading, Portsmouth. It takes investment. The chairman's done an absolutely magnificent job for me. If he can back me in the Premier League, who knows how far we can go.
Fantastic achievement, well done.
Thank you.
And it's time for the presentation. Let's get back to Don and Bill.
Well, the two Hull old boys, Dean Windass and Nicky Barmby, not the only great story within the ranks of those men in amber making their way up the famous Wembley steps here. Ian Ashby, the captain, leading them up. Finished 13 in the old Division 3 5 years ago in his first season at the club. Scored a goal against Gary Johnson's side, against Yeovil Town, to see them promoted out of the bottom division. That was only 4 years ago. Back-to-back promotions, a couple of seasons to consolidate and just to survive in the Championship. And now, what a mighty springboard onto the big time.
It's incredible, isn't it? Four of those Hull players have played, or by this time next season will have played in all 4 divisions of the Football League for Hull City. Quite a remarkable achievement.
A moment to reflect as well on everyone involved with the rise of Hull City, going back to Adam Pearson and Peter Taylor, who masterminded the back-to-back promotions. They've since departed, the new men taking over. Paul Duffin, whose vision bankrolled Phil Brown's ambitious plans on the field. Fortune favours the brave, and the acquisitions of the like of JJ Okocha and Henrik Pedersen, not involved today, but just showed that they were willing to speculate, to accumulate a little bit, and now their reward comes. They've never ever been to Wembley before today, don't forget. I don't think they will ever forget this day. They say it is the best way to be promoted. No guarantees, plenty of nerves, plenty of pitfalls. Just ask Bristol City about that. It was not their day, but goodness me, is it's Hull City's day. Hull City's year. An afternoon not to ponder what might come over the next 12 months as they cut their cloth for the Premier League, but an afternoon to enjoy uncharted territory, undivided joy, and a place in the Premier League for Hull City. The reality sinks in to players who have played in all 4 divisions at the club, the likes of Ian Ashby, Grant Hughes, who's experienced so much playoff pain, Wayne Brown, one of last summer's acquisitions, as Phil Brown built the Player of the Year, and certainly one of the men of the match, Michael Turner. Few could argue, not only with the means of their victory, Don, with that Dean Windass memorable goal, that's the one they'll talk about, but by the way that they've come in and mixed it with the big boys at the top of the Championship, and now made this 3rd promotion place their own.
Well, there's no doubt about it. It's been a squad effort, including the manager, the coaching staff, every single one of those players, and congratulations to them.
Nathan Doyle, who scored his first goal for the club in the semi-final. Fraser Campbell, one of the questions about whether he will still be at the club next season. Nicky Barmby came to Wembley with one of the rugby league sides of Hull for an all-Hull final. This is an altogether more football occasion. Caleb Folan has a look. Special day for Hull City, and the party will go on long into the night, all the way back up the M1 and the M18 to the city of Hull, and it's probably started there now because of that man. Dean Windass's day, Hull City's day, they are bound for the Premier League.
And next season, those players will be plying their trade against some of the best players in the world, in the best league in the world. What a start to this playoff weekend on Sky Sports. And tomorrow it's the League One final. Doncaster Leeds 2:30, Sky Sports 2 and HD2. Bank holiday Monday for the League 2 final. Rochdale Stockport 2:30, Sky Sports 2 and HD2. Phil Brown, just over 2 years as a manager, and he will cherish this moment. He'd been there before as Sam Allardyce's number 2. He says it's even sweeter this time round. Dean Windass is the hero. You couldn't make it up, could you? The Hull boy has delivered Premier League football for his beloved city. Much more to come from us before we're done here. At 39 years old, he carried the hopes of his hometown on his shoulders, and Dino delivered. Hull City are in the big time. But for Bristol City, it's the start of a long, and I'd suspect a very quiet journey home. Let's hear from their manager, Gary Johnson.
Gary, many commiserations. What are your thoughts on today's performance?
I didn't want to be making the losing speech. Unfortunately, I am. But the game, we got beat 1-0. All we can say at this moment is well done to Hull. They're through. They're up in the Premiership, and they're there. And we've got to work a little bit harder to get there. We'll be playing our football in the Championship again, but we'll try and compete again.
You went so close, didn't you, in the last sort of 10 minutes? It just wasn't to be your day.
No, we had a few half chances. We wasn't at our best, but that's really not something to talk about at this time. We had 2 or 3 half-decent chances and couldn't take it. The game could have gone either way, really, I think, but for a bit of experienced play, let's say, by Dean Windass.
It's been a fantastic season for you. Thanks for everything and good luck next season.
Oh, thanks very much, and thanks for all your coverage. Thank you.
For the last 5 Championship playoff finals have now been separated by just that 1 goal. Phil Brown is celebrating with his Hull City side this afternoon. He'd been a winner at Wembley before in the playoffs, as Sam Allardyce is number 2. Now he's doing it on his own. Sam, how do you feel for him?
Oh, absolutely delighted. And the dark days are long past Phil Brown now, because he was about a year or so out of work when Derby decided not to give him the full length that he needed to try and turn them around. Then gets back in at Hull City and has turned Hull City around from something that's been a bit of a miracle, really, hasn't it? You know, nearly getting relegated and now winning the playoff final. And you know, he deserves what he's got today, as does Dean Windass, you know, for his efforts and the quality of his dedication throughout the years.
Peter Bigrey, put that in context for Hull City today, given where they've come from.
It's incredible. The bailiffs were in 2000, 2001. The staff had to stay in the ground so they didn't confiscate any of the stuff. That's when Adam Pearson come over. Now Paul Duffin's come in as well and took over. And the infrastructure's there. But, you know, with that squad of players, it just shows about his management skills to get them perform to the level to get into this situation first and foremost, to take him over the line as he has done. Fantastic for Phil Brown.
Dion Dublin, was that a goal worthy of winning any game? Never mind an occasion like this.
Yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. I think what you've got to look at as well, I think people like Turner and Brown have made it easier for the team today. I thought they've been outstanding. You know, the goal was superb, fantastically. It's just pure quality. It's a quality strike, quality goal, quality setup. And it's great, but like I say, the back 4 I thought were excellent and played very well. We've all said it today that Turner was absolutely outstanding, along with Brown, and it makes it a lot easier for the forwards to have a good game when you've got a back 4 as solid as that. And they were great today, and Dean put his goal away and deserves to be going to the top division, the best division in the world.
When there is so much at stake, Sam, when the game is so tight, was it always going to take that one moment of quality?
Yes, or a big mistake by one of the defenders, and Phil's defence was outstanding today, and they never made any serious errors at all. And I think that Dean Windass's goal is the hardest chance of the game for both sides, and it shows that the technique and the quality needed to win a playoff final, and certainly the technique and quality needed when you step up into the Premiership. And you know, it's a great time for everybody at Hull City. They should really enjoy it for as long as they can. Really enjoy it over the next 2 weeks or so, and then start planning and get the preparation right for looking forward to a bit of history that's been made here today.
The golden boots of Dean Windass, we just saw Pete there. He's been playing good hour chunks of matches. He hasn't played 90 minutes too many times.
Yeah.
Is he still got enough in those legs to make an impact on the Premier League?
He's got genuine quality, and if you get the service to him, as we've seen there, you know, he can produce. And you know, for 60 minutes, what he does now, he'll say he runs the legs off centre half, so someone like Calafiore can come on and profit. I think 6 of his goals have come from when he's come on as sub, so I didn't see any channel running from today. But what you get is guaranteed performance. We said about the experience, been there, done it, didn't fret. Every time he got the ball, he never give it away. But you've seen the tears there at the end, and that is fantastic for me, because that's what football means to him. He's sometimes a misunderstood character, you know, with his antics and what he does. Absolutely loves the game to bits, and I mean, from someone who's had 25 pre-seasons, I think he's had about 19 now. To come back every year, Sam will tell you, to come back every year, you know, to put your body through that speaks volumes.
You played on until 42. You've just given up at 39, yes. Dion. Teddy Sheringham played in the Premier League at 40.
Yeah, I think Dino's done great, and like Beezer said, he's just got pure quality. You know, I've marked Dino myself as a centre half, and he'll elbow you, he'll kick you, he'll punch you, but that's the way he plays. He doesn't mind taking it, he doesn't mind giving it, and that's what football's all about. Standing up, be counting, and give the quality what he gives, what he gave there on a great finish.
What a story it is for Hull City. Let's hear from their chairman, Paul Duffin, with Guy Havord.
Is there a prouder chairman in Britain at the moment?
I would hope not, but no, it's a fantastic achievement and very much one. You know, this is a history-making day for the city, and the football club, and I think it's important to remember those generations of Hull City fans never saw us play at Wembley, never seen us in the Premier League, so this is on behalf of the Tiger Nation, past and present, and a fantastic day.
Is it fair to look forward already to next season? I presume you made contingency plans.
Yeah, we put in a good scouting network last year. Phil's been looking at what our contingency plans would be for next season in either division. We're quite well advanced in those plans, and I think we're well prepared.
Are you going to go for it next year, or just take the money and go back down?
I'm going to take the money and go back down. No, we're going to finish better than 17th next year, and we're going to stay there. This is the beginning of something. Phil and I had that agreement. Come whatever the result today, this is the beginning of something, not the end of anything. And I think Hull City can go on and maybe make Wembley its home.
Enjoy tonight, it's a special day.
I think we might. Thank you.
Well, we said at the start that for the winning manager, the hard work starts now. Sam, how much money is he going to need to make an impact?
As much as he can persuade the chairman to give him money. He should start tonight and make sure that he gets the champagne down him and gets one or two promises that he can hold him to, so everybody else can be a witness when he says, "I'll give you as much as I can." No, joking aside, I'm sure that they've had a really good relationship since he took over, and he'll back him as much as he possibly can. It may not be enough. It may. That depends on what's available in the market. It's all right having the money, but finding the players now is a very difficult job.
Very quickly, Peter, do you think that Bristol City can come again?
It's going to be very difficult. Gary Johnson will understand that, but he's been sensational, and a credit to himself and his club this year.
Thank you very much to Peter Beagrie, Sam Allardyce and Dion Dublin. Really enjoyed your company this afternoon, gentlemen. And more to come on Sky Sports with Speedway, the Swedish Grand Prix from 6 on Sky Sports 1. Cricket with the second test at Old Trafford, England and New Zealand right now, Sky Sports 2 and HD2, and there's football as well. Giovanni Trapattoni's Republic of Ireland in action against Serbia, 7:30, Sky Sports 2. Rugby Union as well, a Heineken Cup final, Munster Toulouse now on Sky Sports 3 and HD3. Golf with the Senior PGA Championship from 8 on Sky Sports 3. And there's the first test in Jamaica between West Indies and Australia. Continued coverage now on Sky Sports Extra. Hatton's homecoming, don't forget, tonight, 7:30 on Sky. Box up against Juan Lascano, channel 755. 08442 410 888 for more information. Also available in high definition on 756. Cable customers, contact your local operator. I'm afraid it's nothing but heartbreak for Bristol City, but for Hull City, there is a place awaiting them at football's top table.